people have the power. The power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite.
Now, there's one thing you might have noticed I don't complain about. Politicians.
Governments don't live together, people live together. Governments, you don't always get a fair word or a fair fight. Well, I've come here to give you either one, or get either one from you.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up,
T-minus 1 minute.
live out the true meaning of its creed.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
T-minus 50 seconds.
I am paying for this microphone, Mr.
Every dollar released from taxation
T-minus 40 seconds.
that is spent or invested will help create a new job.
Chivalry is dead, and women killed it.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines.
T-minus 20 seconds.
We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing ground and in the streets.
10, 9,
We shall fight
8,
in the hills.
6,
We shall never surrender!
3, 2, 1, 0.
Back to Problem Solver Politics. I am your host, Cardin Ellis. Glad to be here with Cody the Oracle.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
And today, man, wow, we're super stoked to get today's live stream started. Well, actually, it's already started technically.
5 minutes, dude. Your whole video played.
Oh, no. Awesome. So, Cody.
Hold on before we move any further.
Okay.
Christopher Kendall had something to say, and I have a feeling he's your new best friend.
Okay, what did Christopher Kendall have to say?
Love the intro.
Thank you. Thank you, Christopher Kendall. We worked freaking hard at this, man. Hey, there was another comment out there.
Love that. I just want to get that out.
There's another comment out there that I totally appreciate as well. Patrick Cole says, you guys are the most prolific show out
Cook,
there.
maybe.
Patrick Cook it was. Yes, sorry. You know what? I can appreciate that. Patrick, thank you. We work very, 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 very hard at putting your dollars to good work here.
Yeah. Well, actually, just in general, us doing it. But yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for the support, everyone, as well.
Yes.
Both the things are true.
Thank you for the support. Absolutely. So, Cody, what's going on, man? You just hook us up. Start us off.
Okay, well, here's the first thing I wanted to show you guys today. This has been going around on Twitter a lot. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this, but if you haven't, it's an interesting video clip. Anyway, it's a clip showing you, and I kind of wanted to bring this up because this is along the lines a little bit of aging talks about, but this is a video clip of the comedian Bill Hader, I believe it's pronounced.
Okay.
Is on, is it Letterman? He's on Letterman. Anyway, this is one of those modern deep fake edits. I wanted to show you guys this, and I wanted to just really quickly afterwards follow up with some interesting questions I think it brings up about the future of being able to believe what we see. And this is kind of cool. So if you guys haven't seen this yet, this is what AI and not automation, but this is what AI and computers are doing
Tom
today.
Cruise walks in.
Okay.
And even those guys are like, whoa, and he's super stoked to be there. Just like, yeah, oh, boom. He's like, wow.
All right.
He's just immediately excited when he walks into a room.
Hold on.
And so he comes over and he sits next to me, and I think he had been briefed on some of the supporting guys.
1 second, guys. I just wanted to, for anyone who doesn't know exactly what's going on in this clip, I want to make sure I get that out. Bill Hader's a comedian. He's on the couch with David Letterman. And you'll notice when he drops in and starts doing impressions of Tom Cruise, his face actually changes to Tom Cruise and it looks just like Tom Cruise.
No, legit.
And then when he moves back. So if you guys are wondering who's this guy, what's he saying, keep an eye out for it. Once you notice it, it's like, oh my God, this actually looks pretty good.
But he was like trying to place me, So he sat down next to me and he's like, I love your work.
That's
and I
so
went,
right.
Thanks. I love your work too, Tom Cruise. Thanks.
What's crazy is you can barely even see the change. It just kind of happens.
And I go, yeah, I'm friends with Judd Apatow and Seth Rogen, and they went to your house. And he went, yes. They did come to my house. And I said, Seth Rogen was like, it was amazing. He has like a bike track in his backyard. It's phenomenal. And I did a Seth Rogen impression, and it was like I did a magic trick. Tom Cruise was like, yeah. Wow. And he points to me. And he pointed at me and he goes, you do impressions and you're on Saturday Night Live. And I went, hey. It was like he won a game show. He was like, yeah, Tom.
And that kind of enthusiasm from that kind of a star, obviously a little intimidating, a little overwhelming.
It is a little overwhelming. Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
You were able to work out and everything was fine?
Yeah, everything was great.
And when it was over, it was all good?
Yeah, it was great. At the premiere, he came up to me and he goes, can you believe we were in that movie? And I was like, I can't believe you were in that movie. Like, you're Tom Cruise.
Dude, that is scary. That's almost as...
Hold on 1 second. I want to make sure people see this. Oh, this is the person who created it. It just went away. But yes, it was time-stamped out. You can see who it was. But hold on. Really quickly, I want you to go on about that. I want to show you guys something else.
Okay.
In the AI sphere. So you go.
Hit it. I have to adjust my non-clip-on tie.
No, go ahead. I'm going to pull something else up right now. I want to get your opinion on this while you do your tie.
Yes. Anyway, Elite Noob, yes, that was Bill Hader. And we got some really funny comments here. First off, about my tie, about whether or not I wear clip-on ties. And actually, no, this is indeed a real tie. And for those of you that are wondering, I know this isn't about Andrew Yang, but he does go tie-less, and I almost always put on a tie. So, but I do like the loosey-goosey kind of, what was that Kevin Bacon song where they're all dancing?
I gotta give you.
I gotta
give you props, dude. You just filled 90 seconds, lovely. Because I want to show you guys the next part of the AI.
Man, I was serious. I wasn't filling, dog.
Well, hey, you know what? Even better, man. Hold on. This is the part 2. I told you I have something else to show you guys. This is part 2 of the AI. Now, first of all, I guess really quickly, I want to get from you as well. So I want to get this across. This is a cool thing, I think, guys. Let me know if I'm being crazy. I think this is cool. So we saw that little clip right there. The way they're able to move so quickly in between. Now, obviously, that's done using artificial intelligence and some computer programming stuff, correct?
Okay.
Now, I want to show you guys the other end of artificial intelligence and programming and stuff like that. Here's the other end of it. Give me 1 second to pull this up. Here we go.
Okay.
This is somebody said. Oh, here we go. Let me go back and go to the start of it first. They said that I forced the bot to watch over 1,000 hours of Olive Garden commercials and then asked it to write an Olive Garden commercial of its own. Here's the first page. Interior, Olive Garden restaurant.
This is
a group of friends laughing at a dinner table. A waitress comes to deliver what could be considered food. Waitress, pasta nachos for you.
Oh,
we see the pasta nachos. They're warm and defeated. The menu is here. Lasagna wings, extra Italy. We see the lasagna wings. There's more Italy than necessary. I shall eat Italian citizens. Unlimited stick. We see the unlimited stick. It is infinite. It is all. That, by the way, at the end there, I think is a great kind of tell to how the AI functions.
Yes, and it tries to mimic the cadence of
Well, not
human
even
speech.
that. But hold on, we'll come back to it. But just I love the idea of like, yeah, what does unlimited breadsticks mean to AI? It is infinite. It is all. You know, like it is God, right? Anyway, here's the second part of it. Friend 3, leave without me. I'm home. Gluten Classico from the kitchen. We the Gluten Classico, we believe the waitress that it is from the kitchen. We have no reason not to believe. Friend 4 says nothing. What is wrong, Friend 4? What is wrong, Friend 4? Friend 4 smiles wide. Her mouth is full of secret soup. Olive Garden, when you're here, you're here. That is a slogan, man. They should steal that one. Oh, it's a wet voice, by the way. Olive Garden, when you're here, you're here. So the reason why I wanted to bring up these two things, guys, and let me know in the chat what you think. What I wanted to kind of point out to everyone is that Morgan Countess, it might have been not 100% true. However, though, I believe the actual content of this is people will discuss time and time again that's one of the not few things, but it's one of the many things AI can't exactly do yet. We could write things and have an AI anchor read it. We can have artificial intelligence generate some stuff, but if we just say write creatively, we get weird stuff from artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I wanted to kind of point out is that we see these AI done videos where it's like, oh my God, like Bill Hader's face turns to Tom Cruise's face in a blink of an eye. You can't even see it happen, and suddenly. I apologize, guy. Wii U is trending on Twitter right now, and that just made my day. Anyway, I thought that was interesting because we always talk a lot about AI and we talk a lot about automation and stuff, but I wanted to kind of bring it up to you guys, like when you figure on golf, there are some things AI can't do well, and there's some things that AI can help us to do very well. So.
Well, can we finally actually show the one interview that we had with the Latina owner of the truck car wash? We still haven't finished editing all of our interviews with the truckers.
I don't believe I have it.
Okay, well, I'm going to see if I can't Discord that to you.
If you can get it to me, I'll play it. Yeah, it's really fascinating.
Because
I apologize ahead of time for my camera work. Sorry.
Yeah, I've been tracking AI for years, never in its political context, actually just in what it can do. If you guys watch Mark Rober, who's a YouTuber with millions of followers. He's actually a friend of mine, and he's a hilarious, intelligent hyper geek on steroids, all right? And he did a video recently. He's actually done several videos on what machine learning can do. It's more colloquially called AI. But a recent one he did was actually on machine learning, figuring out what all of the signals that baseball players use are to call runs and so on and so forth. And it was intriguing. He actually developed an app that could tell what the person was going to do, whether they were going to run or whether they were going to stay, or whether they're going to steal a base or whether they're going to cruise. It was actually totally awesome. He's also the same guy that did the infamous YouTube video on the package bombers that steal Christmas presents. And so I've been studying a lot what AI is capable of for a while. And what all of the AI experts say is that machine learning is awesome at repetitive tasks and compiling massive amounts of information and gleaning details and strategies that maybe we hadn't seen, or hyper-simplifying a process. But problem solving, how ironic, the show is called Problem Solver Politics, is not necessarily something that AI is good at. So you're kind of safe as long as you're problem solving. But what jobs don't actually rely upon that much problem solving is what will surprise you. And that's why I think so many surprising clerical and accounting and especially legal and paralegal positions are under threat from AI. And that's why this interview that we had with the owner of the truck wash was so interesting, because she actually literally said, I asked her, do you think your job will be here in 10 years? And she said, no, because I'm not a robot. Like, completely unaware of what we were talking about. She only knew that we were Problem Solver Politics and we were talking about Andrew Yang's freedom dividend. She didn't know who Andrew Yang was. I had to tell her that he's a presidential candidate, but she specifically referenced twice in our conversation robots and artificial intelligence. It was like I couldn't have scripted it better. In fact, I'm going to get that to you while you talk about, what is this, an article on machine learning, I believe?
Apologies. I just brought it up to kind of just quickly. I thought it was interesting. I pulled it up earlier and we're thinking about what to talk about today. And this is one of the things I pulled up. And it's interesting to point out because obviously there are things AI does that there wasn't anyone doing this job before. There was nobody. I mean, I guess I take the back. Not 100% correct, but the real-time traffic update sector wasn't exactly that large, and it's probably the Google Maps, Waze, X amount of map sector is probably actually larger than whatever like the radio news traffic center was. You know what I mean? Like as far as like that business model. So I think it's interesting to point out there are some things that AI is moving into that really they're adding jobs to or creating industries that didn't exist before. Now there's some stuff. This is one that, first, for example, virtual personal assistants. You can argue some people are going to get more personal assistants that wouldn't have had them before, but they'll also probably...
Especially the elderly. I know that they're really looking into using the elderly and also replacing retail workers. You have got to Google the robots that Lowe's has come up with.
That's bartenders even, right? We're just talking in the chat. Bartenders at MGM. MGM uses robot bartenders now for the most part.
Oh, that is interesting.
They don't really use human bartenders much. So we'll bring that up next. There's just one thing I wanted to point to. This is what I don't like about AI. Dynamic pricing, guys. Want to read about dynamic pricing?
So evil.
As a consumer.
So evil, yes.
As a consumer, I love to read things like this. Uber's biggest uses of machine learning. I love that. That's its biggest use of machine learning. Comes in the form of surge pricing, a machine learning model nicknamed as GeoSurge. Imagine if you gave someone a ride for $5 when you could have charged them $15, man. What a world. If you're getting late for a meeting, you need to book an Uber in a crowded area, get ready to pay twice the normal fare, even for flights. Oh, I love to hear that. If you are traveling in the festive season, the chances are price will be twice the original price. Thank you, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Nothing brings a smile to my face more than on New Year's Eve. I'm at the airport. It's almost New Year's. I want to get home. I want to be at least home for New Year's. And it's $140 to go 30 miles. That's my favorite thing about artificial intelligence. Sorry, I know
this is real, and this has been around for a while. And actually, I hate to admit it, but I kind of contributed to it. When I worked for a major national pest control corporation that will remain nameless because their law department is far greater than mine, and they can hash out what is libel and slander and what is not far better than I can. We converted to an almost complete AI phone answering system that answered with a human voice. But what happened is when you picked up the phone, okay, and this is a National Pest Control Service, all right? When we picked up the phone, let's just say you dialed 1-800, let's say it was Acme Pest Control, 1-800 Acme Pest Control, okay? What would happen is this voice recording would come up and it would say, hey, welcome to 1-800 Acme Pest Control. Check this out. If you're a first-time caller, make sure you press 1. If you're an existing customer and you would talk to your local branch manager, press 2. And then you'd press 1 or you would press 2, and then you would get forwarded to the proper person. Now, most of us have patience for 8 seconds, but they actually put that 8 seconds in there purposefully, because what they would do was when I called in from my landline, whenever you buy a landline, even when you buy a cell phone, if you ever have purchased a cell phone or even just like a burner phone in the airport, okay, you always have to give your license so they have a name with a government ID attached to that phone number so they know exactly who's calling and basically where you're based out of, all right? So what that 8 seconds buys that company, 1-800 Acme, is a chance to not just look up your name and what your potential address is, but then scan all of the open source documentation about you. If you've ever had a license, if you've had an interface with a government bureaucracy where it's mandatory open source disclosure of information, your info's out there. And then using your zip code, they would cross-reference the average income per household according to the open source school district information that is given out by every school district nationwide. And then they would be able to geo-target you, and also they would cross-reference in their own database the top 14 highest paying customers already in the area, and then they would spit out a number. And what this translated into was if you called from the poor part of town, let's just say from 90021, I'm just making up a zip code, okay? If you called from Los Angeles 90021, which who knows, it might be really rich, but if you called from a poor zip code and you said, hi, oh my gosh, I've got the worst problem with ants. Can you guys come out and help me? Then the salesperson behind the desk would say, oh yes, why we could. Yes, Mrs. So-and-so, we'd love to come out and help you. That's going to be $191 for the initial service and then $72 every 60 days. That sound good? Oh yeah, that sounds great. Come out and help me. And they send a technician out. But if you called from 90210, Beverly Hills area code, okay, all of a sudden they're geo-targeting your neighborhood and saying, oh, wait a second, no, this is a really nice part of town. And then up on the screen, it would say, you'd call up, you'd say, hi, I'm having problems with ants at my house. Can you help me? And the person on the screen would say, oh, yeah, we can help you. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a $357 initial service with a $272 every 2 months. Okay, that's fine. Just come out, help me. And I'm a total capitalist. Okay? I don't think it gets more capitalist than me, because capitalism allows people to help each other more than any other system out there. And no other system better curbs natural greed, I believe, than competition. However, with that said, man, I can't help but feel taken advantage of, Cody. You know, just knowing that because I called from a nicer phone, that somebody's going to triple my price, all right? Because some machine has figured out that that's my threshold of what I will most likely be able to withstand. Oh, and speaking of thresholds, they would also continually raise our price 7% every year until you called and complained, and that's when they'd flatline you. So they could just like squeeze every last drop out of you.
Counterpoint.
And that's all AI. That is all artificial intelligence.
Counterpoint. That could be used in a different way.
Okay.
To do the same thing. However, instead of just saying, oh, lower income areas, we're just not going to service them, just say when you receive calls from a certain area, maybe, but even that's a bit presumptive. But you know what I mean? I think
insurance companies do that.
It could be used for kind of a
niche insurance companies. Yeah, there's insurance companies that specifically target teachers.
No, but that's what I mean. I mean, you could use artificial intelligence to just do like more fair pricing. You could have kind of almost like percentage-based pricing.
Okay.
You could have prices based on, you know, average income levels for an area for certain things. And then obviously you amend them where if it's like, this person lives in the rich area code, but they're not wealthy by any means. You don't just say, well, too bad, man. Sucks to be you. In the inverse, right? You don't just say, wow, you made out big time. But you know what I mean? Like, have that be a way of just being like, but at the same time, it's kind of presumptive and offensive. Like, oh, well, I know you live in this area code, so we're going to give you the pauper price. You know what I mean? Like, there is a bad sense to it, but I think it could be used for good. Anyway, so that is our intro, guys. We're just kind of ranting about things. I wanted to move on right now with you.
Oh, geez, Calbear just trolled me. He said, thanks, Cardin Gecko.
And I wanted to highlight...
Although, hey, Calbear, I do have to say this. I have saved as a total boomer meme on my phone.
This guy's the biggest boomer
favorites. Yeah, in the favorites folder, I have a total boomer meme where Gordon Gecko says lunch is for wimps. Okay, because all the time people are calling me up and say, hey, man, because, you know, this is Hollywood and this is how we all talk. Hey, man, yeah, it's a great idea. I'd like to hear more about what you got to say. You know, hey, why don't we have lunch? Let's do lunch. Let's do lunch. Let's do lunch. And I always hate that, because if I went out to every lunch invite that I got, all I would do is spend all day getting fat, eating lunch, doing nothing.
See, I don't know who this guy is. You know what my dream life is?
Gordon Gecko.
Endless brunch. Just mimosas and food.
No, you want endless alcohol, not endless brunch.
Hey, it all comes to the territory. That's, to me, nothing makes me happier than someone. Like, we should do lunch. You are correct. Anyway.
Yes, I do have a Gordon Gecko meme where it says lunch is for wimps.
Hold on.
You should save it.
Hold on.
Okay, what?
I want to highlight, and please, we're at PSP Radio 1 on Twitter. I'll send the link. Please send us more if you think we're missing anything. I know we are. We can't get everything.
Okay.
But what I wanted to do, I just wanted to highlight some of the cool stuff going on in the kind of grassroots movements here for Andrew Yang. We love talking about it. Personally, it just kind of interests me to see how many people are coming out to support Yang, right? So I'm putting the link in the description, the link in the comments right now. If you have a Twitter account, anything you want to send us, please send us it.
Oh, dude, I'm getting trolled.
We've highlighted a lot of stuff already, and I want to highlight a few more things. First of all, this one, shout out to South Bay Yang Gang, right out here in our own home state of California, the Golden State. This is South Bay Yang Gang, and they went out and did a little tabling session at 143. Oh, they're doing one. Actually, hold on. It's a live stream. One of the cool things is we're airing this as we are doing this. Guys, anyone in the San Jose area, so painfully boomer, who wants to get in on this and wants to be a part of the Yang Gang, and they're doing a tabling session right here. So I think that's really cool. I wanted to highlight that. South Bay Yang Gang. Very cool, guys. Let's see. Next thing I want, and like I said, dude, this is not everything. Please don't make me think. Don't think that I'm just saying if you're not on here, you're not doing something. There's just some things I wanted to bring up. Here we go. The Massachusetts Yang Gang at today's August Moon Festival in Boston. Shout out. So I think it's really cool stuff. There's a picture of them all. hanging out there in front of Five Spices, it looks like.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, I've never been to the city in my life. But you know what I mean? Still, it looks like a cool, fun thing.
You know they're in Chinatown right now, and like 4 out of 5 signs that we can see are all written in
is there-
different characters.
Is there a Chinatown in
Or Koreatown. I can't tell the difference
in
between
Boston? There's a difference, so we'll move on.
Yeah.
There is a difference.
Although I'll tell you this right now.
Before you expose yourself too much.
No, but you can tell the difference between the Korean and the Chinese characters.
Yes, there's a difference.
There's a definite difference. I'd say the Korean ones, like to Koreatown, there you can definitely tell a difference. Like if I were sent a picture, and actually we might be able to test this in the feed without anybody doing a double blind test and tricking us. If you send me a picture of a Koreatown and a Chinatown, I would venture to say 9 out of 10 times I can tell just by looking at the characters whether it's Koreatown or Chinatown.
How about just
because Koreatown, they're a little bit thicker and a little bit simpler, and the Chinese ones are a little bit thinner and a little bit more ornate. That's my totally hyper truncated, I speak Spanish and I'm bilingual, but don't do any Asian languages. Dude that grew up in LA, lore right there.
Lore.
Yeah, lore.
There's some Cardinellis lore, everyone.
Yeah, so you're going to talk about Paget KG. What's her name?
Yeah. Please, by the way, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. I only pronounce names wrong. I don't do it intentionally. Someone pointed out, they're like, dude, this guy went a whole video and called him Elon Musk every time. I'm like, I don't do it on purpose. I want to say Elon. Anyway, this is a really cool video I wanted to highlight. By the way, Super Chat. Shout-outs. Jeremy. I believe... Tell me if I'm wrong. Believe African descendants of slaves, right? Represent. Love the show and content. Thank you very much, man. Please tell me if I'm wrong. But listen to this. Love to hear that, dude. Love support in general, but just I love hearing from different people that they're with Yang and they're with us and we're all together. Fun stuff. I tell you guys every stream I'm the biggest softie ever, but that's my big time softie speech for the day. I won't get.
I really hate making.
Sorry, guys. I gotta find out where that's coming from. Here we go. I know that was the weirdest time. Anyway, yes, please let us know in chat if I'm pronouncing this wrong. I believe it's Paget KG. Paget.
By the way, before you press play, we have to tell our viewers
about to press play
that we literally watched about 12 of her videos, hoping she would introduce herself and say, "Hi, I'm Paget or Paget or however you pronounce it." And we even Googled the pronunciation of the name, and only the English version came up, which I assume
it might be an English name. Anyway, hold on.
If she's second generation, yeah.
I'm much more interested, and no offense, but this video than
Thank you.
Guys,
Then
this video
the run
is
through,
gonna
but it's
be
very
on
cool. Listen to this,
phone
guys. Check this out.
banking, How to do it.
I'll have the link in the
and
description too
my
if you haven't seen this
experiences
already.
Doing it. So Andrew said last week in that private event in LA that the most important thing that we can do for his campaign right now is to phone bank.
Phone banking is really top of mind for us right now because we're trying to reach the people in New Hampshire and Iowa and South Carolina and Nevada.
And so if we want to get him into the White House, we gotta at least give it a try. At least once or twice or more. Am I right? But firstly, in order to get started, you need to click on the link in the description below. I think it says click here to make phone calls. And once you do that, I am gonna let my past self explain to you what to do from there. I'm a little bit nervous. This is the first time I've ever done something like this. This is so uncharacteristic.
If you want to see more, please go to her YouTube channel. I put the link in the description, and please go there and check it out. The reason I wanted to bring it up, a lot of people asked us to do this, and to be frank, it's just something we've not had the time to sit down and do together yet. But a lot of people ask us about phone banking. How do I phone bank? What do I do? If you want to know more, please check out our video. She does so much cool stuff. I believe she's out here in the LA area. I don't know how we haven't met up with her and some other LA Yang Gang people yet. But a little bit of a preview actually. Another fellow Yang Gang YouTuber will be coming to Los Angeles in a few weeks here, and we're going to be no spoilers yet, but we're going to be meeting up. We're going to be doing a video, so keep. Thank you so much.
Hey, how come you're just allowed to laugh in the middle of your your thing?
Everyone's allowed to laugh, dude. Stefan Lin, very subtle racism about China and Korea card and how much I think.
How is that very subtle racism?
Well, dude, it's like me saying, if you sent me a picture of Spanish and French, I could probably tell you the difference. Probably. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, no,
maybe.
hold on.
I will say I speak multiple languages.
Spanish and Portuguese.
Okay.
Because both have visual markers.
It'd be harder for me, to be frank. I probably couldn't tell you the difference.
Both have visual markers that denote accents, all right? And a lot of our brothers and sisters here in the feed actually brought up some really good points, and they were able to articulate better what my visual thought was. Korean has circles. Also, Chinese is pictorial. That's why the cool word for, and by the way, please, any Mandarin or Cantonese speaking friends in the feed, totally correct me if I'm wrong.
We're going to expose ourselves big time talking Chinese language.
Because I had a Sunday school teacher that spoke Thai because he'd served as a missionary in Thailand. And he would get up and he was trilingual, okay? He straight up spoke Korean, he spoke Japanese, he spoke Thai, and he also was learning Mandarin. Chinese. So anyway, which I guess mean quadlingual or whatever. But Chinese being pictorial, Mandarin speaking people have no idea how lucky they are. Mandarin and Hebrew are literally living ancient languages, okay? And correct me if I'm wrong, the Mandarin word for television is the two characters that say firebox. And it's because of the character-based, at least in terms of how they write it. Because it's character-based, it lasts longer. Like, we can't even read 200-year-old English without getting confused. Shakespeare makes no sense, and Middle English, 400-year-old English, is a joke.
Okay, it's over, man. I think people know that you're not. I think people understand. Anyway, I wanted to move on while we're talking about. First of all, we're talking about grassroots Yang Gang movement. There's a channel literally called Grassroots Yang Gang. I wanted to shout out. I'll put the link in the description. We're going to be mostly watching the video clip of just C-SPAN they ripped. But what they did is they went through, and here's the link to the video, by the way, guys. Boom. He must have been, exactly. You betray yourself, man, in your language. Anyway, here's the video I want to show you guys. This was put together by Grassroots Yang Gang. I put the link in the chat. They're really cool people. Check them out. Anyway, they clipped this for us. They talked about it earlier in the video, so I don't have time to show the whole video clip. But someone from Daily Show was at Iowa State Fair. He talked with Andrew Yang, and I'm showing you guys their video. I just want to give him some love and shout him out. So check him out on YouTube. But this is Andrew Yang's encounter with Mr. Whiteley.
It's great to meet you, and I assume you know who I am, right?
I actually could use some help.
Oh, well, it's Gregory Whiteman.
Thank you, Gregory.
I know it's hard to keep track of all the candidates. I'm actually running too.
Oh, fantastic. Welcome to the field.
Thanks. I know you've got the Yang Gang. I've got a group of supporters.
Gang.
That's great. Yeah, it's a great name, and my supporters are the white men, but it's not polling very well. Just kind of hoping to...
Yeah, maybe we should broaden that a little bit.
Yeah, dude. I think Yang no-sold that joke like a champ, man.
I gotta ask you, you're known for starting your own successful business, which is amazing. What's that like? Because all the business I've bought have been existing businesses that I've run into the ground. So,
well, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. You know, anytime you start a business, it's tons of work, and then whenever anyone asks you how it's going, you always have to say it's going great.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so, but you know, I'm sure that you'll have that sort of experience soon in the future.
Well, thanks, and I know you're offering $1,000 a month to people. I was wondering if I could maybe
it's just
get
free.
Mine now. Would that be possible?
Well, I got to win this thing in 2020, and then starting in 2021, the freedom dividends can go to you and every other American.
Oh, okay, because I got some veterinary bills. My dog swallowed a golf ball. And then,
no, that's terrible, man.
Yeah, it's really...
So what I need you to do to help get that dividend into your checking account, endorse me.
Okay, so we'll have the link to the full video in the description. Again, hold on one second. I'll pull back a little bit so you guys can see him. Talking about the beginning.
All right, so
this was
just like we always
courtesy
do.
of Grassroots Yang Gang. Shout out them.
We're following all things Andrew Yang.
Check him out on Twitter. Check him out on YouTube. I have the link in the description then. So I just thought that was a really funny appearance, and I have a question for you on that one, man.
Okay.
So hopefully you're watching, huh?
Oh, I've been watching. In fact, I've watched many of this guy's YouTube clips.
Yeah, hold on. I have a question for you. I want you to answer this question.
Yes, hit me.
How long do you think it took Zach Gromlin, I believe his name is, one of the head campaign staffers for Andrew Yang, to realize that was a totally bull jive interview, and that guy, he was full of it? How long did it took? How many questions till he was like, God, this guy is not running for president? How many questions do you think it took for him to realize that?
You know, I do not know. I do not know, but I do have to give you guys, if you don't know who Zach is, Zach was the one that was next to Andrew Yang when we were there.
He's like the head of his campaign. I forgot the exact term,
and if you ever see a tall guy with a really great jawline, looks like he actually should kind of be a male model, towering over
Thumbs
Andrew
up on the
Yang.
jawline. Good point. Good.
You know, like he does. Like the guy looks like.
I always appreciate good jawlines. You're right.
Okay, so hold on. When I was in New York City, I would
I'll
often.
pull him up.
Yeah, pull up a picture. I would often get cast by Central Casting whenever they were doing like a Russian mafioso flick. I also had a couple appearances on White Collar. as an extra, of course. And the casting people would say, yeah, we really liked your jawline. Now, that's before I got fat and I actually had a jawline. But if you have a good jawline and Eastern European heritage, it means you will forever be cast as the real high-paid actors who's playing the role of a Russian mafioso's bodyguard. So I was always the guy where you saw me from like my tie down.
Peter Stormare?
You know what I'm saying?
Is that the actor, Peter Stormare?
Maybe, I don't know his name, but look at this picture of Zach. That right there is Andrew Yang's campaign manager. Does not he look like Dolph Lundgren's son? If Dolph Lundgren made a baby with Melania Trump,
so
it would look like Zach.
Hold on. Back to the question at hand. Back to what I originally wanted to know from you.
Okay, what?
How long do you think it took before he was like, god dang it, dude, this isn't real. This guy's just a baloney. How long do you think it took? How many questions? Because
it depends on how much he was paying attention.
Hold on. Full disclosure, we are in a unique position where we actually witnessed him suss this out before us. A really good friend, but we worked with him before. I like him, cool guy. Jess Weaver, he does content like this. He actually did something very similar to this, where he kind of got an interview with Andrew Yang, and he was pretending to be from a different network he wasn't from. And we were standing right next to Zach as he was watching him. So I just thought it was funny because we saw this happen. How long in did you think he was like? Because like I said, Yang was deadpanning those jokes like, okay, yeah, this is whatever, man. I'm done with this almost immediately. So I wonder how long it took his campaign guy. By all accounts, very sharp man to realize, okay, this is crap. We got had. Well, we've been had.
No, but I thought he was kind of playing along a little bit.
Playing along, exactly. He didn't say, oh, wow, this is real.
Because, I mean, at some point, like, for example, if I had figured out that I just got lampooned by Comedy Central or something like that, at that point, I would just start playing along. You know what I'm saying? Just like seeing if you couldn't just jump the shark completely. Hold on. You know what I'm saying?
Point something out.
Point something out.
Thank you, Borb. He was not... I still do this, man. It wasn't The Daily Show. I think it's Stephen Colbert's nighttime show. So, apologies.
The CBS show?
Apologies, yes.
Okay. So, anyway, we've got some great comments here. All right. Apparently, there's a lot of fans of Zach Grumman. You're not on mic.
Microphone's off. Sorry, guys. Just to end the tension, it looks like Mike Lauder here says that he watched all the footage and Zach knew when they got there and told everyone it wasn't a news spot. That's hilarious.
Dude, because I got to tell you, Zach, bro, Zach is a hawk. Like, he looms over the shoulder of Andrew Yang wherever he goes, just like looking like, there any haters out here? There any haters out here? Oh, you look like a hater. What, you going to step up? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that's the way he talks. But I got to tell you, like, as we're not a friendly, we're an independent podcast, right? But Zach was sitting there.
I've donated money to Yang, full disclosure again.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, come on, we're not like these other, Nerds for Yang channel and stuff like that that is basically.
Well, hold on 1 minute.
Hold on what?
Well, like, we do all our context about Andrew Yang. I donated the campaign,
we have
and we say we like him.
We've dedicated these next, whoever knows how many months, to covering the Andrew Yang campaign.
We do try to talk about other stuff. I agree with you.
But we do talk about other stuff, and also, we're independent in our analysis. I mean, half the time I'm getting yelled at by people in the feed for not liking something Andrew Yang said. You just asked me a question 5 minutes ago about what I thought about Andrew Yang's answer to the Foreign Relations Committee, and I said it came across as naive. We're not shilling for the guy.
Spoilers.
Okay, yeah, what?
No, it's true. Seriously. Guys, check out. Tomorrow we have a video coming out. We go through some of the answers to his questions on the Foreign Council on Foreign Relations asked him a series of questions, as well as every other candidate, and he answered. We thought it was pretty fascinating, the answers he gave. So, yeah, I mean, spoilers for some of the video, guys.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions about the Yang campaign TV advertisement.
Dude, I know. Send us a link, please. I want to show you guys right now. I want to watch this. This is huge. He is raised. Actually, you know what? I got a tweet for this, guys. I got a tweet saved up for this. Here we go.
I was about to say, we don't have like a downloaded MP4, but we've got info on it.
It's got to be uploaded somewhere. Andrew Yang, let's go Yang Gang. We just hit 2.8 million. That's the most we raised in quarter 2, and we've hit it again before the halfway mark in quarter 3. Very cool. So yeah, where's all his money going? Was he doing it with it? We highlighted a video. I believe it was the Crystal Ball. That's the name I won't be forgetting. Over at the Hill, she broke the 5-day figure for fundraising. $1 million in 5 days after the debate, guys. Big showing. And we're seeing the fruits of it right here. This is now the second quarter or the third quarter in a row. He has outgrossed the previous quarter. So it's growing. It's moving.
All right.
So yeah, so the idea of these early ads, because he's been the word on the street, the lore, so to speak, has been that Yang has been saving money and waiting to go on a big push on television ads in these early voting states, and we're about to see that. So I think that's really cool. I would love to see the videos. That would be even cooler. Probably we'll have to wait a little while until they come out, right? But oh my God, man, the Dan, if that is correct, hold on, Cardin,
What?
are you sitting?
I am sitting.
What? You're sitting down, Cardin?
Yeah, I don't see what's going on. What?
Andrew Yang might be speaking with Steven Crowder.
Oh, snap. That would be awesome. By the way,
I know you love him. Personally, I'm a little bit whatever, but you love him, so I know you'll be happy.
I wouldn't say love.
You're a fan.
When he talks, I listen.
Really?
Okay.
I think I look at him more comedian than anything else.
Well, yeah, no. And he's got balls. I don't care who you are.
He goes for
Steven
it.
Crowder has cojones.
He goes for
twice as heavy as mine. Okay.
Wow, that's an interesting admission. No one has more than me, but hey, I don't know, man. That's an interesting.
And I don't know whether it's brave or foolhardiness. I have nothing. I have nothing but respect. Also, I love his Change My Mind series, where he just he attacks it head on, and I think that's how issues need to be attacked. Now, this is where I get excited. I get really excited when Andrew Yang is talking on these conservative platforms, because two things get debunked all at once. Andrew Yang debunks a lot of right-wing misconceptions about UBI and the freedom dividend, which I think is necessary in order for us to come to the middle and reach a good legislative conclusion. Thomas Jefferson said, out of the clamor of many voices will the truth be established. And we get to truth being established faster when we debunk myths through conversation, okay? So two things are going to happen if Andrew Yang goes on Steven Crowder. First, Andrew Yang is going to debunk a lot of myths about the UBI and probably instruct a lot of conservatives.
Hold on 1 second. How about this, though?
What?
I could easily see. You know what would actually be fascinating? You want to know who's somebody who will debate till the cows come home?
Oh, yeah, Steven Crowder. And that's why I disagree with him.
That would be a very interesting debate, though. Because to be frank, for the most part, when Andrew Yang goes to talk to somebody, they don't even bring that up. They don't say, marijuana legalization. What? So I think that'd be funny to see him pressed on it, because I wonder he's not. I don't think
he's totally against it.
But I don't think Yang has been pressed on it before, so it'd be fascinating to see Yang, when pressed, his response. Because I doubt most people would probably just say, okay, yeah, whatever, move on. But it'd be funny to see Crowder go full-on 90-minute meltdown mode about marijuana legalization, and see Andrew Yang be like, well, I think we should decriminalize heroin. What? That could be something new. We did a video just today, we published it, about how time and time again, Andrew Yang gets dragged into. I thought it was cool. I saw it in Anderson Cooper. He actually didn't talk about it, but he just gets dragged into these UBI talks, which is one of his big platforms. You know what I mean? He gets pulled into talking about it so frequently. It'd be cool to see someone really press him hard on another policy or another issue he believes in. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, Debbie Williams brings up a good point that Crowder was recently slamming the idea of UBI. I didn't see that one, but I'd like to see it.
Oh, okay. So that's probably what we'll
and he
get
says,
then.
and she says, and the comment section was full of, you need to talk to Andrew Yang. Now, see, that's what I love. See, back to my analogy before I was so viciously and rudely cut off by my co-host. I'm just kidding. Two things are going to happen. Okay, Andrew Yang is going to debunk a lot of myths, bringing the conversation towards the middle. And then also, Steven Crowder gives people a chance to talk, and he doesn't do that stupid leftist, so what you're saying is you're racist. So what you're saying is, he doesn't do that crap. So that's a total, that's the bastion of the conversational left. But he's going to be a convert. I am seriously convinced that we've got a couple of converts to UBI right now. First, Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson will straight up tell you, wow, this is awesome. Okay. And Tucker Carlson, if a congressman, I am convinced, would say yes to UBI. He would join the chorus of Republicans in 1972 that voted for the Family Assistance Program, which was the first legal precedence that we had for UBI in the United States of America that even predated Alaska's pipeline dividend, which is often referred to by Andrew Yang as the Republican precedent for the freedom dividend. So I actually think Steven Crowder's mind is pliable enough, and this is where I give him credit. I hate guys' minds who aren't pliable. Okay, I can name you 5 YouTube channels right now that I subscribe to. Okay, just to get information about what the other side thinks, emphasizing how pliable my mind is.
Hold on, I want to reference back to the words you just said there.
Okay, what?
The other side. By the other side, do you mean the government? Do you mean the not the people?
No,
or do you
this
mean
is-
the people? But do you mean the people is the other side?
I mean the
They're other side.
dehumanized persons that should be persecuted for their political beliefs. No.
Wow, thank you.
What?
Thank you for being honest.
No,
it
I'm
was
just
great.
kidding.
It was refreshing to hear honesty. Just telling you, dude. If you're talking about
but
them and us, people in the state, that's pretty good them and us.
In colloquial terms, we have atrophied our political conversation in referring to things as right or left. Okay, and
I'm
so
not on either side. I don't have a side, man.
I know, but you can't say that you don't lean on certain issues a certain way.
I do, but I don't have a
Like
side.
when it comes to UBI, I'm definitely on the side of UBI.
But if my side did something I disagree with, I'd be like, yeah, they're on my side. I don't care.
Look, look, just by virtue of the fact that we're voting their sides, there's a yes vote and a no vote, which means there's the yes on measure whatever side and the no on measure whatever side.
There's also abstention or to abstain. I don't know. What is the verb form of to abstain? But you can also abstain from voting, and that's a third choice. It's a very... You brought up the third choice, your biblical reference the other day. It's a real thing, huh? So...
Yeah, but you can vote for that third choice, and then by voting for or against it, you're on the side of yes or no. I'm saying there's sides, whether we don't like it or not.
To abstain?
There's no sides of humanity, but there's sides of an issue.
To abstain is also a side. So there's 3 sides.
Yeah, to abstain is a cop-out.
No, it isn't.
That's what
See,
it is.
that is not. See, there we go. There we go. More truth. More truth from Cardinellis. Nah, dude, that's not true at all. So let's see.
Ooh, Andrew Holman just showed up.
Just showed up.
He says, "Hey guys, I'm your Cincinnati friend from Twitter. We need to talk on the phone tonight."
Hey.
Yeah, hey, hit us up. I do believe that. See, we've talked to a lot of really interesting people that we're going to start interviewing quickly.
Hold on. What does that mean? I'm a sphere.
Cody is a sphere. You're an oracle, an orb. Luis Torruella says, interesting question. Thoughts on Ron versus Rand Paul? Love them both. Sometimes Rand can be more frustrating than his older father.
It's too principled.
Yeah, probably because at least when his father would be too principled, you could be like, crazy old man. Whereas when you're not old and you're hyper principled, then you can't just say crazy old man. You can only just say crazy man. So I really, really, really like Rand Paul. And to a certain extent, I think he's one of the only people articulate and intelligent enough to go up against leftism and socialism, and really articulate and demonstrate the benefits of capitalism and how it is the way forward. However, there's sometimes where just on a hyper principled stance, he does things that can optically look bad, so much so that if you're not one of those, that esoteric minority, those few that understand, quote, where he's coming from on a philosophical level, you just think he's either stupid or else something else ist. And he definitely is not. Like, Rand Paul is a patriot. He loves his country, and he's definitely a very, very effective legislator. There's only been a couple of times where I've been like, Rand, what are you freaking doing? But I do love that he is a budget hawk. Both him and his father are the only people I have really seen in American politics over the past 20 years that have been absolute aficionados dedicated to the Constitution and the idea that we have to pay our bills in order to maintain our economic might. And you got to read the book. Rand Paul's book, I think it literally was just called An American Revolution, not The American Revolution. I think it was An American Revolution. Feel free to fact check me this
so
on the chat. One of the best books you can read about American politics.
So to wrap up, who do you prefer?
Oh, who do I prefer? Rand Paul, because he got attacked.
Okay,
and if you ever attack him, you can just, pull the I was attacked for my politics card.
Okay,
just like
cool.
people throw the woman card, the race card, or the whatever card.
Love
you
to
can be
hear
like,
it. Love to hear it, man.
Yeah. So, no, I'm just kidding.
No, because I have a question I want to ask you. One of our viewers asked, so someone on Twitter asked us this.
Okay.
This is a fascinating question, dude. He asked me, this was a... hold on. I apologize, folks. There we go. I love this question.
Dan Murphy brings up a good point about...
hold on a second. I want to ask you this first.
Rand.
This was a question from Red at the Red Galaxy on Twitter. I love this. Said, there's plenty we'd like to see less funded, but what is something you guys would like to see the government fund more?
Oh, I've got answers to that.
What would you like to see the government fund here? If you want, I'll try to go first.
You go first.
Oh, I'd like to see the government fund more.
Free medical
Ooh.
marijuana. Is that what you're thinking? Free Modelos?
No, that terrifies me, to be frank. Wow. I have to admit, I'm going to show my ideology here. Literally nothing. There's not one thing I'd like to see the government spend more money on. I think the government could probably afford to spend less on everything else.
Not roads and bridges like infrastructure?
What about the roads? What about the roads? I think we could spend less. Here's the thing, though. I think we could... No, hold on.
Well, you bring up a good argument.
Hold on.
California.
I think we could spend smarter. So I don't say we should do less. I think it'd be possible to do what we're doing now for cheaper.
Yes.
And I think it'd be possible to have a better service provided for the current cost or slightly less.
Here's one
Just
where
because I
think
believe that a lot of this stuff is waste, and federal jobs unions are no joke, man. You can't go up to federal jobs union and say, "Hey, we're slashing your employment by 20%." Federal jobs union. Oh yeah, no problem, guys. That's fine. So yes, that's my opinion.
Okay, Jason Yang Gang 2020 has a really good question we're going to come back into in a second. But first I'm going to answer your previous question, which was, what do I think the government should spend more money on? I agree with you 99.9% of the time that it's not a function of spending more money, but spending the money that we have in a more responsible and efficient manner. So yes, kudos to Cody the Oracle. This is why you are indeed an oracle. However, you are not a soothsayer nor a savant, because if you were, you would say this answer. Pediatric cancer research. I do believe both for adult and especially pediatric cancer, the government spends an abysmally small amount of research dollars on this. And especially for some terminal illnesses where a, quote, cure is in sight, but that may not be perceived as immediately profitable by big pharma, there is a place, a necessary place from both a religious, a moral, an economic, and just a plain old compassionate angle in which we should spend more money to give a profit incentive to those that could discover their way out of these problems, okay? The research and development of cancer research. We only spend less than 4% of all R&D dollars right now on pediatric cancer research, when our children are the most important thing. We can't say our children are the future and then only spend 4% of every dollar on
Great
them.
point from the chat. Super chat, as a matter of fact. Peter R., $5. Not to sugarcoat anything, but to stabilize climate change, we're going to have to spend trillions.
Oh, Peter R., you
It's
gave
gonna
$5, so I won't lambast you, but we're going to go to the mat on this, and I want you to respond. Are you ready?
No, hold on. Before you go on your Boomer Fox News, you know what Glenn Beck
It's
says
not
about
Boomer Fox News.
You
I
know
was
what
a member
Glenn
of the
Beck
Sea
says
Shepherd Society before they had their own freaking TV show and before Fox News even was a channel.
Who cares? You're still going to come. Sean Hannity says. Anyway, first of all, I'll get to me and we'll go to you. I completely agree. If we're going to reverse the damage that's been done over the last, probably 150 years, think about the Industrial Revolution when they were just, literally, the more pollution's better, not because they were thinking about pollution, because production, yes, burn more coal into the air, right? But the fact of the matter is there's still parts of the world where they'll make roadblocks with burning tires on a regular basis because there's conflict or whatever's going on, right? So we have a lot of issues that are going to cost a lot of money to fix. So if you want to invest in it, here's the problem, though. I think that money is better spent and advocating, and this is something Andrew Yang's spoken about. I think that money's better spent on going to other countries that are also polluting at a very high level. Because if we spend a bunch of money and pull back, and then we still have India, Pakistan, China, and a few others polluting at a super high rate, if we could use that money lobbying them or convincing them that, hey, bribing even, right, chill out, then we could pull back with the confidence everyone's pulling back, and that'll make a difference. So I agree on that level. There's some things that I generally speaking, I'm skeptical to science for the most part, just because it is so frequently wrong. But I do think, if we wanted to make up the damage we've done to this environment for the last couple hundred years where it's got real bad, and we're still having other countries in the world that are just don't care at all, we're doing whatever we want, it's going to cost a lot of money to just rein that back in and basically revision how we do stuff.
Yes and no. I fully reject the idea that it's going to cost a lot of money. Because, first off,
Dude,
Peter
hold on. Well, just one thing.
What?
If you wanted to legally build a door to go out another way of your house to the backyard, would it cost a lot of money? More than it should?
Oh, more than it should, absolutely.
Okay,
It
so
depends on if you did it permitted or not.
Tell me why addressing like the damage done to the entire world's environment by climate, by pollution, and people just burning whatever they want and pumping it into the air for hundreds of years. Would it be expensive and wouldn't cost too much if building a door in your own goddamn house costs too much?
Because it's not a function of cleaning up a mess as much as it is preventing future mess. All right. Now, Peter R. brings up a really good point. Okay. This idea of stabilizing climate change. Awesome. Now, first off, we need to get our semantics right. Okay. First, we started calling it global warming until everybody couldn't agree on global warming because the people that are the scientists down in Antarctica are saying, no, according to our ice cores, the world is cooling. And we need to prepare ourselves for the next ice age. Meanwhile, you talk to people in the UC system, they say, no, the world is warming and it's warming at an exponential rate. And they make all of these alarmist pseudoscientific studies in order, pseudoscientific studies in order to justify the research dollars. One of the infamous ones predicted the methane and the carbon dioxide influence in our greenhouse gas emissions and the global warming that was going to happen without accounting for what phytoplankton would do in order to process carbon dioxide into oxygen in our oceans, which cover 2/3 of the world's planet. And they predicted that by like 2007 or something, half of North America would be underwater. And that's where you got all of these crazy first wave predictions from. They were absolutely debunked. Then you got who is the guy that said he invented the internet? Al Gore, coming out saying that by, I believe it was 2014, he said that New York City would be underwater, yada, yada, so on and so forth. Okay. So first we need to stop.
Hold on really quickly. How about this? I didn't even notice this. Grassroots Yang Gang's in the channel. We shouted them earlier. And they said they're going to see Andrew Yang in 2 days. What would you want them to ask, if anything? It's a good question, man.
Hey, hit us up on an email. We'll give you some good questions.
Yeah, or Twitter. Hold on. Make sure I'm following you on Twitter. Just DM us. DM us on Twitter. Yes.
We'll get back to that. I want to think that. But to stabilize climate change, okay, first we need to get the semantics down right, and we need to stop vilifying each other. Okay? I think the right goes wrong when they say things like when they hyper-truncate arguments and saying like, oh, it's a hoax or whatever, because you don't want to look like a science denier. And I've actually never met a right-wing science denier. That's just a straw man argument that the left puts up.
I'm a centrist science denier.
And then, well, yeah, it's okay to be just as skeptical of science as you are of religion or other things, because science, don't forget, it was those scientists that told us cigarettes didn't cause emphysema for 20 years because they were getting paid for by the tobacco companies. So first we need to get the semantic argument right, okay? And second off, we need to get the science correct and rock solid so we know exactly what we have to do so we can put the pressure in the right places, okay? And by that, I mean, you have a really good quote. You say anybody that's not willing to go to war with China and India over the 2 coal factories a day that they're building, you know what I'm saying, isn't really serious about climate change. And to a certain extent, that's correct. America needs to quit self-flagellating for the world's pollution problems and realize that here we actually have a phenomenally high threshold of environmental regulation that needs to get spread to the rest of the world. And the rest of the world, instead of just asking us for money and saying, oh, we cannot help with the Paris Accords until 2035, you know, or whatever, the rest of the world needs to step up if it wants the help from America. So America needs to put diplomatic pressure on other countries in order for them to step up their game. And worldwide, this is why I'm such a big fan of UBI. I believe if people started getting $1,000 a month and they were less economically stressed, they could start focusing on inner, much more important, deeply personal, spiritual matters, or consumerism would get curbed. If Americans could actually afford their basics, I don't think they would be as addicted to substances. I don't think they would have as much anxiety or be as depressed. And they might be able to actually start looking within at how to cure some of their life's problems. And some of the anxieties, the suicides, the depression would go away, okay? And we could start actually addressing bigger problems such as climate change, okay? And I don't mean climate change, but pollution. Because at the end of the day, it's a question of not climate change or global warming or whatever, but of consumerism versus conservatism. It used to, conservation. It used to be that we believed environmentalism.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, are we going to shout out Alyssa Monet Mason?
Of course.
Shout her out.
And as a proxy, it's $2. Thank you. Yay, Gift Shinobi. And Gift Shinobi as well, who, by the way, it seems like, if I'm reading this correctly, it was just...
He's here.
Well, you suspended off Twitter? Is that true? That sucks, too. They suspended you. Yeah, Twitter suspended What was the reason, man? What did they say for suspending you?
Yeah, let me guess. One of his.
It was Stefan Lund, $2. Al Gore did more harm on environment issues than GD.
Who's
God?
GD? God?
Can't be God.
Or Gilberto de la Cruz?
George. No. I don't know. Sorry, Stefan.
Yeah, who you talking about, Stefan? Anyway.
I believe it, though. Yeah, Al Gore. Al Gore.
Well, I think the reason why Al Gore did do a lot of harm to the environmentalist movement is he politicized it, and he made it something that half the country could dismiss as another liberal Trojan horse for socialism. You know, and that's what we need to do is we need to separate it from politics so we can actually address it. Then we need to put pressure on the other countries that are the most gross polluters because we share an ocean with China. I've been to Argentina. You know what you guys need to do? Go and look up the...
Not God or Jorge whatever. Good, yes. You know, yeah, I agree, dude.
George Douche.
I think George Douche. I definitely think that the Al Gore, because it's true with anything. When you just become too alarmist on something and you get ahead of it, people go from like, oh my God, like all this is gonna happen soon, and you're like, well, sort of, and they just say, oh, it's all crap and dismiss it. So I think if he had been more honest up front, that's true. And then also one last thing I want to talk about. Oh, sorry, never mind. I thought just finished because Twitter's suspending people randomly. If they start suspending the Yang Gang, dude, how about that? We'll talk about that, man. What do you think of Yang if they start suspending the Yang Gang Twitter, man?
Actually, that might be a video right there. Is Twitter suspending the Yang Gang?
Yeah.
So I'm finishing addressing Peter R. because he had a great question here. All right. And so yeah, Al Gore politicized it and made it so that half the country could just dismiss it as another socialist Trojan horse. All right. But the real question, well, he also vilified specific industries, which is frustrating because we have really bad environmental problems here. For example, we breed pigs in the ugliest, grossest way where we actually like spray their feces and urine all over the air and stuff. And it gets people in the surrounding like 10 miles around these pig farms sick and gives them inordinate amounts of cancer and yada, yada, this and that. Same with coal ash. The really fine ash that falls from coal burning plants is wildly detrimental to the ecosystems around it, and we just can't get control over it. So we have an absolute need to give energy to our population. That's why Andrew Yang's proposal of emphasizing nuclear energy is so important, because it is by far the cleanest way we have of generating trillions of kilowatts of energy with almost zero environmental impact. Okay? So not to sugarcoat anything, but to stabilize climate change, we're going to have to spend trillions. I don't think we're going to have to tax and spend trillions, Peter, as much as we're going to have to do a very difficult Marianne Williamson spiritual awakening of how our consumerism is driving us to burn way too much fuel in the processing of plastics, burn way too much fossil fuels in sustaining our addictions and our false idols. And you don't think that we don't have a religion of consumerism? Go to the average American mall in the 1990s. Go wait in line for the Apple iPhone 11 the day before it comes out. You will see the pilgrims of the modern consumerist religion. So I don't think we have to spend trillions of US dollars. I think we'll have to spend trillions of hours as a people spiritually overcoming our need for consumerism. So Peter, your head's in the right place. I am a huge environmentalist guy, lifetime surfer wannabe at least, because I'm too out of shape the past couple of years. But yes, this is a really, really great question. I don't think we have to spend as much as we'll have to spiritually invest millions. Great question. I have a feeling you want to give a shout out to Drake. Oh!
Of course. Shout out, Draco. Thank you very much. Send out a donation. Can problem solving politics answer this in the future? Can modern monetary theory help fund a UBI, a.k.a. the freedom dividend? I want to really quickly Google to make sure I'm not missing something here in the
David Pakman just had a big argument about modern monetary theory. All right.
What was the argument?
It was with a caller. Modern monetary. Actually, you know what? Just for everybody out there, I don't want to get into an esoteric argument here. Why don't you just read that basic definition of modern monetary theory?
Here's what Wikipedia says about it. To be frank, man, I honestly didn't know exactly. Here's the Wikipedia response. Here we go. Modern monetary theory, or modern money theory, MMT, is a heterodox macroeconomic theory that describes currency as public monopoly for the government, and unemployment and evidence that a currency monopolist is overly restricting the supply of the financial assets needed to pay taxes and satisfy saving desires. Very fascinating. MMT is seen as an evolution of chartalism, and is sometimes referred to as neo-chartalism. Wow. Interesting stuff. MMT advocates argue that the government should use fiscal policy to achieve full employment, creating new money to fund government purchases. According to advocates, the primary risk once the government reaches full employment is inflation, which can be addressed by raising taxes and issuing bonds to remove excess money from the system. MMT is controversial, okay, yeah, I can see why, with active debate in its policy effectiveness and risks. Its macroeconomic policy prescriptions have been described as being a version of Abel Lerner's theory of functional finance. We definitely are going to look a lot more into this and do a video on it, because holy cow, man, a lot of stuff I read in there that made me raise my eyes. That is a very shout-out. So thank you, Drake, for bringing that up. That is, thoughts, is it BS? Michelle Ebol, thanks for the super chat right there. $1.99, thoughts on MMT, is it BS? Just reading it there, I can't give you a full answer. I want to read a whole lot more about this and see a whole lot more about it. I am reading a lot of stuff in here that sounds, it's eye-raising at the least, but also it sounds kind of fascinating. I want to hear more about the pros and, of course, the cons. What are the takedowns? What are the strong and the iron? What's the strong man? What's the Iron Man? Right?
Okay, there is
everything.
This is a cynical response, Drake. First off, loving the question. Okay, you got to think out of the box in the 21st century. Okay, let's go back to the question. Can problem solver politics answer this in the future? First off, in the future, absolutely yes.
We'll do a video on it soon, dude. That is a fascinating thing I just read.
Yes. Can modern monetary theory help fund a UBI, aka freedom dividend? Yes, I have watched several videos on modern monetary theory. Unfortunately, they come from people that I do not trust. That doesn't mean that the argument is not sound or is not good. But the biggest nearly dismissive thing that I have seen expressed about modern monetary theory is actually expressed in that Wikipedia definition right there. Yes, it is indeed controversial, but guess what? So is UBI, and it's worth talking about, and I'm all for it. But the risks to the economy while implementing a lot of actually what it stated in the Wikipedia article have seemed very troublesome to me. So I do think it is actually a really good idea to talk about it. And to be honest with you, I have read about modern monetary theory. I've watched a bunch of videos because it kind of interests me, but I did not watch it with the intent that I had to remember enough stuff to be able to talk about it knowledgeably.
We'll look more into it.
I do want to look into it and do a video. That's actually a really, really good question.
And then hold on, I want to give a shout out to Shanna Owen, $2 super chat. Talk about Steyer buying votes with marriage. I want to show you guys something here real quick. This is a Twitter thread from a Mr. Michael Tracy on Twitter, and I love this thread. This is great. So he says, Tom Steyer spent $2.9 million in 30 days on Facebook. Facebook ads begging for $1 donations. As of August 11th, he is spending $140,000 per day. He says, remember when Dems blamed Facebook for subverting democracy? They turned around and devised a system that is enriching Facebook at preposterous levels. $140,000 a day from one advertiser is a lot of money. But this is my favorite part. Steyer went on TV this morning and described himself as a grassroots activist. Can't say grassroots candidate. That ain't true. But this is something I think is hilarious, though, is we look at this modern system, and someone asked us, what do you think about him buying votes with merch? I think this is the other thing I want to point out to you guys. In Real Clear Politics, I believe they show Steyer now. Steyer has reached 2% in 3 qualifying polls. So that means that Tom Steyer is one qualifying poll away from actually being at the debates as far as polls go. He has not reached all the donors yet. That is why he is spending $140,000 per day to get you to buy a bumper sticker and give him $1, because he needs that donor. He needs 130,000 unique donors. And if it costs him more than $130,000 per day to get those unique donors, I'm a billionaire. I don't care. I'm going to win. I'll spend $3 million in a month on ads on Facebook alone. This guy's going heavy on TV ads as well. So
I would vote for Marianne Williamson before I voted for Tom Steyer.
But what do you,
I don't
hold
care
on, hold
how.
on. What do you think about how he's gaming the system?
He's
though?
a mofo, toxic POS.
How is he gaming the system, though? I think
How is he gaming the system? Because he's literally walking in there, which
not
he's
how.
buying an election.
No, but what I'm saying is, what do you think about that? Should that be changed? Personally,
No,
Yeah,
it
those
should
are
not
the
be
rules.
changed.
Those are the rules, right?
Expose him as the big money thug that he is. His, we all have strengths in this world, and Tom Steyer's only strengths actually is his good looks. He's a good-looking devil. I give him credit, but his only strength is his good looks and his wallet. So let him operate from his strength, which is his wallet, and let him be exposed. See, I don't want to shut down speech. If you're a person with bad ideas, or you're the R word, or you're anything like that, I want you to speak as loudly as you can so we all know exactly who you are, and we can avoid you, or we can defeat your ideas in the public sphere. I worked with a guy once who did video content. And he did video content for an up-and-coming tattoo shop in New York City that was going to get its own kind of like inked show. You know what I'm saying? And we did an interesting segment in which a guy came in who was a neo-N-word, right? As in N-A-Z-I, all right? We're trying to avoid the Google algorithms here, which will demonetize us if we use certain words, right? So he comes in and he says he wants the swastika, you know what I'm saying, put on his arm. And the tattoo artist went up to the owner of the parlor and said, hey, dude, I don't know how you feel about this getting done in your tattoo shop. Like, should I do this? Do you want me to do this? And the tattoo artist, or the tattoo parlor's owner, said something so wise that the fact that we caught it on camera is just to this day one of the things that imprints in my mind. And he said, yes, you go back to that guy and you make it black. You make it as black as you can so that everybody sees this guy coming from 20 miles away and knows exactly who he is. And I thought that was powerful, man. So yes, Tom Steyer, that brother, I'm sorry, you may want to impeach Trump, but that dude is toxic. All right? He's got hate in his heart, okay? And Marianne Williamson needs to send him some freaking stones and some crystals and a yoga book so he can chill out, and let him spend all the money that he can all over Facebook and all over TV so the world can see just how hateful a one-trick pony that man is. I'm done.
I just want to say, you always get on me like, dude, what do you mean I'm a right-winger, SJW? Dude, honestly, you could just swap out Trump for Steyer and repeat that entire thing on CNN, and I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, but Trump hasn't dumped all this money to try and subvert an election.
No, but dude, it's different. It's different this time. That's what. Okay, anyway, I thought it was funny. No,
Okay,
but
wait.
you get it.
Shanna
different.
Owen says,
no.
talk about Steyer buying votes with merch.
That's what we were just talking about.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. No, you're
literally
right.
what
I'm
we
on the
just
wrong
talked
super
about.
chat. Sorry.
Anyway, moving on. Shout outs to a Mr. Andrew Holman, dude. Thank you. He sent me the link to the campaign, the new campaign ad. It's a new Progressive Voice upload. Very cool, man. Thank you. I believe this is Yang's new campaign ad. I believe he's going to be running this on TV in early states, so we definitely want to watch this. See what we think. Ready?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
So with immigration, you better be smart and you better be tough, and they're taking your jobs, and you better be careful.
We're in the third inning of the greatest economic and technological transformation in the history of our country. And who are we blaming? Immigrants. Look, it's not immigrants that are taking these jobs away. Like, just facts. It is not immigrants. It is the fact that technology is pushing our economy in a direction that makes it harder and harder for many Americans to get by. Immigrants are being scapegoated for issues they have nothing to do with in our economy. The automation of our jobs is the central challenge facing us today. It is why Donald Trump is our president, and any politician not addressing it is failing the American people. If you've heard anything about me and my campaign, you've heard that someone is running for president who wants to give every American $1,000 a month. Why do we need to do it? We already automated away millions of manufacturing jobs, and chances are your job could be next.
Dang. Hey, you know what? Shout outs to the violin going there. That's like a
I was
classic.
about to say that was pretty intense. That was like
yeah.
a Blumhouse. I bet you The Hunt opens up with violins like that.
It's Blumhouse.
I thought it was Blumhouse.
Nope.
Or it's Harold Bloom. Oh gosh, I'm probably gonna get lambasted.
You're better at Tony Williams and Paul. Anyway, dude. So hold up.
You want to opine on this or what?
Two to Max says, Cardin, you left him hanging. Are you guys gonna smoke before the next video?
Oh yes, I had highlighted a 2 to Max 11 question because he asked if I smoke weed.
Anyway, here we go.
Before
we answer this question,
I don't smoke weed. I've never smoked weed before, but I'm willing to try. I've been trying to convince Cody here to do it live on air. No, I'm just kidding. But I do have my medical marijuana card in California, but I've never used it. So who knows?
Well, it's recreational in California. So what do you think about that ad? Dude, honestly, hold up. I want to see if I can pull it up again real quick. Did I close it? I closed it. I'm gonna pull it up again real quick. Dude, that clip they showed when he said, this is why Donald Trump is our president. Oh my God, did you catch that?
Play it one more time.
Did you catch that? I'm just gonna find it on the timeline here.
Okay.
And I'll pull it up. That was hilarious, dude. Anyway, in the meantime, though, what do you think about the ad? What did you think about it?
Well,
if he puts it on television and you're undecided, not even independent, but you're a voter who doesn't like everyone you see on TV, right?
Yeah, I give it 9 out of 10, and this is why it's not a 10 out of 10. Actually, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I don't give it a 9 out of 10.
That's still pretty high, dude. I mean, that's pretty good.
But this is what I don't like. I hate it when people misrepresent my views as racist. And when it comes...
What are you talking about, dude?
Well, because when we say it's not immigrants taking our jobs, I don't know a single...
There's nothing racist about immigration.
Hold on, let me finish. I don't know a single right-wing person, I don't know a single conservative, I don't know a single Republican that thinks it's actually immigrants who are the problem, because we're all children of immigrants and we see the massive advantage that a positive immigration into America gives America. I know a lot of conservatives that see illegal immigration, just like we see illegal contraband or illegal smuggling or illegal anything, straining our infrastructure, okay, and being bad for the country. So when you come out and you say, it's not immigrants taking our jobs, it's not racism, it's automation, I think it's a much stronger thing to say, hey.
Quick shout out, real quick.
Okay.
Drake Zero, Bernie supporter talks smack about Yang and our ignorance, and how our ignorance of MMT and how it would have funded a federal jobs guarantee. My rebuttals almost ready. Shout out for $5 super chat, man. Dude, let us know when you see it, because like I said, dude, that concept sounds fascinating to me. I don't want to interrupt. I just want to make sure we address that. Fascinating concept, dude. I'd love to do more. If you follow us on Twitter, send it over. I'd love to read it, man.
Okay, so I to me it seems like he's playing into this. Now I get it. He's going to a Democrat base, so you have to say Donald Trump's a racist. But I get so tired of it, and I think the more compelling argument is that the fourth industrial revolution is coming. In fact, if he would just keep it purely to automation and just say, look, right, left, or center. I don't care what you think about Trump. I don't care what you think about Clinton. Jobs are going away, and they're going away fast because of automation, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, and I'm the only guy addressing it, and then show all the math and the facts behind it. I think that would have taken that political campaign from an 8.5 to 11. The more that you show the robots coming are a freaking science fiction movie on steroids, and that this is a reality, because the other thing is, he showed a bunch of anti-Trump clips, okay, but he didn't show a lot of the actual robots having replaced people's jobs. If he would just have taken out all of the anti-Trump and calling Trump a racist crap and replaced it with pictures and video of jobs that men and women in America used to have.
Never called Trump a racist, but...
No, but this idea that it's not immigrants taking our jobs, it's automation.
There are people who legitimately think it is immigrants that are causing unemployment.
Yeah, there's like 2 of them that are toothless, and they're my cousin's friends in Arkansas.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on a second. You just spent literally minutes nonstop making this case that just because you disagree on immigration doesn't make you a racist. And then after minutes of making this case, within seconds you say...
Kyoko 703 agrees with me.
Well, okay, I'm not saying anything about agreeing or disagreeing with you. All I'm saying is there are some people who, as you just spent minutes arguing for, think that immigration's impacting jobs maybe more than it is for non-racist reasons, as you had just said. So it's important for him to go to those people. You might think it is immigration because obviously it has some impact. We can argue the degree, but he's saying the degree that automation's putting on employment is so much greater. There's no reason to focusing on anything else. That's the pitch you have to make. Because what if I'm sitting at home and I say, he's an idiot. It's immigration, not automation. So he has to address that and say, I know that is an argument. I know some people say that, but I disagree, and here's why. He has to bring it up, dude. And I don't think it's like, as you spent minutes arguing for, I don't think it's racist to point out that, look, I know some people think that the increased immigration numbers leading to job loss, but realistically...
That's why I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 stars, because he kept the tone professional. I still think he misrepresented his opposition's viewpoint. which who knows? Maybe that's part of the job. Okay, but if you misrepresent your enemy, I don't think you know them, which makes me think you don't know how to actually defeat them, because Sun Tzu said, and Socrates said, know thyself, and Sun Tzu said, know thy enemy. And if you can't actually correctly represent your enemy's position, then I don't think you actually can correctly analyze how you will defeat them, if that makes sense. So, with that said, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. The soundtrack an 11 out of 10. Okay. And the 4.3 aspect ratio, a 6 out of 10.
Well, this might be, who knows? This is the Instagram aspect. Like I said, I love this scene.
But I'll tell you this right now.
It's why Donald Trump was president. It's just him like hugging the phone.
I will say this absolutely with zero qualms. Like, this is 100% unadulterated Cardinellis. That is probably the best and most compelling political ad against Donald Trump that I have seen since the anti-Trump phenomenon started, because it is addressing an actual real concern that affects all of us. And that's the least reliance upon dogma that I've seen in a political ad. So maybe I should give it a 9 out of 10, at least just for that.
9, Jesus, man. I would hold on here. So I guess, you know what? Mr. Softy's going to be very critical today. I give it like a 7 out of 10. It's pretty solid. It's not bad. It does. I wouldn't, as an independent, if I saw this, I'd be interested in knowing more. So
heard about the Statue of Liberty plaque issue? Peter R. just sent us another super chat here.
Heard about? Could you elaborate more? What you mean by that? You're talking.
You mean
about,
like send us your teeming masses? You're tired. You're
because
poor.
This is the one thing that's funny about that is that was just like a fundraising poem, and it's not actually policy. People like reference it as policy, and this is one.
There was a group that was trying to amend it, weren't they?
Maybe.
Weren't they saying that it needed to be amended?
All I would say is this. All I would say to people is, when pressed, is there anything you hold dear? You'd say, you know what? Maybe never mind. Like, I know I said that before, but like now it's, because we do it all the time. Hey, so you're going to volunteer at this thing at this. Yeah. I said I would, right? You know what I mean? So I to me, if that's what you're asking, my take on the issues, that's one of those things you put on a plaque and you raise money and they say, okay, you're doing it, right? And then the country goes, well, sounds great. Love to do it. There we go. I'd love to do it.
Look
but,
at this.
I can't.
This is hilarious.
That's my take.
One of my least favorite terms in all of American politics was just brought up by Michelle Abole. Now, obviously, she's making a joke out of it, so it's a little bit funny. But she says, Cardin, this ad, basically she's referring to this ad, says, it is a dog whistle for anti-racists. 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, a dog whistle. I love how a dog whistle can be blamed for anything. You know what I'm saying? Just like anything's a dog whistle.
Yeah, in general, I don't like people saying they actually meant this. Like, well,
Yeah, but that's funny. I do like. I think that's actually a funny observation on behalf of Michelle. That's a good comment.
Yeah, but do you know when he's on Don Lemon? And if we can stream it, CNN will yank our channel down. We'll have to do something weird. But do you guys know when?
Do we know what? Sorry, what's your question?
No, but hold up, Calbear. That's a good point. With Declaration of Independence, and I do believe the same thing happens. Where you could push, hey, we said this Declaration of Independence. Like, yeah, we said that. You're right. We did say that Declaration of Independence. You're right. That is in there. But as you said, that ain't policy, ain't law. We don't have to do it. It's in there. So I would say it goes both ways, man.
We also quote 4 and 7 years ago, and that's not in the Declaration. I mean, that's not law either.
So in general, every human being does it, man. You say things, you talk about things, and then it's like, okay, cool, you're going to do the thing, right? And then it goes, well, we talked about it. We spoke about it. We thought about it. It sounds, you know what I mean? Like, you get everything besides, yes, we're doing the thing we spoke about. So unless it's law or policy, as you pointed out, man, same with Declaration of Independence, like, unless it's written in there, it's just kind of one of those, that's a good point. I'm really glad you brought that up. I would love to discuss this further. It's a very nuanced issue, and we can't address it all today. So, you know what I mean? That's when you get those kind of like baloney answers.
We quote things that aren't law all the time. In fact, even the infamous saying, the difference between, quote, church and state, is actually from a letter that Thomas Jefferson was writing to somebody else in Europe, talking about how in America there's a separation of church and state. It's not actually anywhere in the Bill of Rights in the Constitution, but we still talk about it. You want to give another shout out to Draco before I continue talking?
I'd love to.
Okay.
Drake 0 over 0. We'll debate on this one, all right? We'll debate on anything. PSP, do a video on Mark Cuban wanting to support a politician who fully understands the impact of automation. Mark Cuban doesn't like. Dude, I would love, if Mark Cuban came out Yang Gang, dude, that'd be such a cool moment. I think he does seem to have the temperament where, in the ideas, and he's forward thinking enough. And I, as you pointed out, I do hear him say stuff where it's like, look, we have this eventually. I see it happening right now. I think that's really cool. And that would be, you know what? As a big-time NBA fan, and little known fact, Andrew Yang actually worked with the NBA in official capacity for a few years. He would probably love to get Mark Cuban's endorsement very much. So that'd be really
And
cool.
Mark Cuban's one of those interesting characters that I actually had a lot of respect for. He said he would be vice to either Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton.
Hold on.
And he correctly analyzed both of them in an interview. What?
I was going to push back a little on that before you started. Somebody saying, "Oh, vice president? I don't care who. Just make me vice president." I would say that I would. I don't know.
I'm not that cynical.
That's my
You're
take.
cynical.
On it. Are you kidding me? I don't care who's president. I'll be vice president. Yeah, cool.
So
Sounds great,
Dylan Wright says, "Yo guys, Elizabeth Warren just attacked Yang. I want to see that. Come at me, Elizabeth." All right. And then second off, AQI says, "Are you guys going to vote on the petition for Yang on Ellen DeGeneres show and 60 Minutes show?" I've actually
I'll do
seen
Ellen.
this.
I'll do Ellen, dude.
First off, yes, absolutely. And a lot of people are actually saying he's got to be on 60 Minutes so the boomers will actually understand him. And the baby boomer voting block is still a massive voting block, and apparently they are still addicted to 60 Minutes. So I actually have seen a petition floating around having to do with getting Andrew Yang on 60 Minutes in order to get him in front of a boomer audience. I would sign both of those petitions. I would sign those for anybody, even people that I don't necessarily politically agree with, because I want to get the information out there. And we can't talk about something unless it's all on the table. All right. So, before we were talking about Mark Cuban, what were we talking about? Come on.
I know what we're talking about.
Current law. Oh, dog whistles. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Cal Bear says dog whistle is legit thing. Cal Bear, look, I love you, brother. Okay. If you're a sister, I love you too, sister. But Cal Bear, I do believe that yes, it probably is a legit thing. Okay. At some place, somewhere, sometime. But I think 9 out of 10 things that are called dog whistles that I see are not dog whistles, and that's just the left's attempt to silence somebody on the right. All the time, things get called dog whistles that are not dog whistles to such a degree now that the term dog whistle just doesn't really mean anything to me anymore. It's almost like the term racist. It gets used so much everywhere, so often, that now it just kind of like doesn't mean anything. So, yeah, I think there are such things as dog whistles, but the left says if somebody comes out and says, I'm a law and order candidate, I believe in law and order, that's a dog whistle of racism. And I don't believe that. I just think there's people that are huge on accountability and law and order.
Hold on. I think the simpler point is that I do agree that sometimes it gets a little unfair when you say so-and-so is sending secret signals to their supporters. Like, well, okay, then are you a supporter? Because why are you picking them up? Like, yeah. That's the only thing where I feel like it gets to a point where it's like, hold on, man. Like, I get that you probably know a lot about what these people are talking about, but there's like this sense that it's like you can kind of walk that line a little bit too far sometimes where you're telling, no, they actually think this. And it's like, well, hold on, let them speak for themselves. If they disagree with you, all I can go off is you claim this, they claim that, or he said, she said. So I think people sometimes they'll like, it's like, dude, why, if it's a secret coded message they're sending, why do you pick it up? I don't know. That's the only thing I have to
Dylan Wright puts down, supposedly, and please, let's see if you can fact check this. Automation, this is a live stream, so I'm just reading. Automation for American job loss is a good story, except it's not really true. Ooh, if Elizabeth Warren said that, I think she just gave an amazing gift to the Yang campaign and anybody going against her, because all she needs to do is go through the industrial Midwest. I wish, has anybody been there? Please respond in the chat if you've been there. And this is why,
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure many live there, but this is why all of the calls that, oh, Trump supporters are racist during the election never rang true with me, because I thought, put yourself in the shoes of a guy who's lived in the Midwest, in southern Michigan, his entire life, working at a bottle factory. I'll use a bottle factory as an example here just because we had a huge glass bottle factory in our town that ultimately ended up closing, okay? You're telling me that the guy that worked for 20 years in the bottle factory, who's now in his early 50s and just found himself unemployed with not enough money to retire, scrimping by paycheck to paycheck, burning through his savings left and right, fearful, not able to give a Christmas to his children, and worried that he's going to become a burden on family, or perhaps he's a young man, a young father that just got laid off from an industrial machining job that he was getting paid $35 an hour at. Now he's having to work part-time at Starbucks and part-time at the rec center just to make ends meet as he's burning through his savings. You're telling me that those guys, as they drive down the street and they see the bottle factory that they used to work at, and they're stressing mentally over how they're going to pay the bills, the Latino guy that's mowing his lawn that had moved into the neighborhood, that's his next door neighbor now, yeah, that's what angers him. And that's why he's voting for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump promises to get rid of immigrants. You really think that this man who got laid off from the glass bottle factory that was 90% automated is really worried about the Latino guy mowing his lawn 10 doors down? No, that makes absolutely no sense. And for you to think that shows me that you have more hatred in your heart, and you're a psycho, and you're a person that doesn't know how to empathize or sympathize with other human beings, because you don't know how human beings think. Okay? If that's what you think, then you're crazy and you lack empathy. But if you think maybe when Donald Trump comes out and says, you are the forgotten man, okay, the forgotten man of the industrial Midwest, and these jobs have been shipped overseas by the wealthy elites. Yeah, he brought up immigration as something that hasn't been stopped, because neither the left nor the right is politically incentivized to get rid of it, and that the elites, all right, have automated your job away for increased profits, or else employed illegal immigrants for increased profits, and you are the forgotten man and woman. If he says that, you can totally see why that would resonate with millions of people. And those millions of people will go to the voting booth thinking that I can better my family situation and my situation and get my job back if I vote for this man. It is that simple. Why is it when Bill Clinton's campaign manager says it's the economy, stupid, he's considered a revolutionary and visionary campaign manager, but when Donald Trump comes out and says it's the economy, stupid, he's racist? That makes absolutely no sense. It's just as counterintuitive and mentally and intellectually dishonest as the dog whistle idea is. And it's why Andrew Yang needs to keep harping on this automation idea. And anybody going up against Elizabeth Warren, let me tell you, you punch up. If Yang wanted to punch up and say, hey, Elizabeth, you got it wrong if you really think that automation isn't a true story, and get into that battle, he will be the next Tulsi Gabbard v. Kamala Harris. If he can say, hey, Bernie, love you, bro, and I love the Bernie bros that follow you. Great memes, pal. But if you think a mandatory $15 minimum wage is what's going to pull the Dust Bowl of the industrial Midwest out of the Dust Bowl of the industrial Midwest, then you're crazy. If he engaged in those two battles versus Elizabeth Warren and versus Bernie Sanders, then he will actually rise up in the polls. He will get where he needs to be. He will be one step closer to the presidency. But if you start fighting against Donald Trump, all you're doing is favors for everybody else on the Democratic field with you, and that's not your job in the primaries. Your job in the primaries is to set yourself apart from all the other Democrats. So if he could actually start going after Elizabeth Warren for, assuming it is true, asinine comments like this one, I think he would be in much better shape. Cody, where do I go wrong?
Well, I would disagree about a lot of that stuff, I guess, and just say that.
Oh gosh, man! What, really?
Yeah. No.
That's a dog whistle for stupidity.
There we go. I just think someone's a very dude. I don't know. I'm one of those people. You know what I mean? You know what? You know what I think about most things. To be frank, I think generally speaking, a lot of people, myself included, have really dumb opinions about a lot of stuff, and I really just think, you know what? I love it. I honestly love that more than anything. It's how dumb and wrong all of our opinions are all the time. And that's why when I hear stuff like this and I see stuff like this, see Elizabeth Warren, you know what? That's a bad take, Elizabeth Warren. I don't agree with that. But whatever, man. All the time, almost every day, I do. Everyone's guilty of this, of having bad takes, and you know what? Having dumb opinions. So I don't demonize the candidate. I think Elizabeth Warren, for the most part, man, she's shown that she at least is trying. I disagree with her on a lot of stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of her. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, she's done a lot of stuff I object with. I think the pretending to be Native American for benefits is one part hilarious, one part awful. But I'm not a big fan of her. But at the same time, man, it's like I'm not going to demonize the woman for it. Like, whatever. I don't know.
Okay, this is when the, you know what? Thank you, Alyssa Monet Mason. She said, so true, Cardin. You are wise, a scholar and a gentlewoman.
You want to hear
Alyssa.
something? I guess like when people generally don't always disagree with me, I don't really care if they disagree. I just not disagree.
Look, people that disagree with me are stupid. People that
There we
agree
go.
with me are wise.
You know what,
It is a very simple worldview that I choose to maintain, and it's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
That and assumptions. Cardin's the king of assumptions.
All right, so I do want to explore this though. Oh, this is hilarious. Harrison Barnes said, "Cardin is right, and Cody needs a dog whistle." Cardin 100% agree. Get her Yang, says Jason Yang 2020. Calbear's still hating the dog whistle thing. But I'm welcome to send us links. Calbear, PSP Radio 1 and mail.com. I will literally read anything you send me, bro, within less than 5 pages. I should make that. I should make it less than 5 pages, size 14 times New Roman. That's about what my brain can handle in any one good sitting. Coffee All Day says, wow, Cardin, wow, rude. Which part was rude? Please let me know.
Exactly. There's so many. Which part exactly are you speaking of?
From this point forward, Cardin is known as the Big C. And I walked into this with Cardin just going off. Then you walked into an amazing part. Disagree with Cardin about race, but agree with him on Warren. Yes, I got to tell you this right now. This is actually why I think, and we talked earlier on the stream about Andrew Yang going on Crowder, and I said I think it's going to be much like Andrew Yang going on Tucker Carlson. People are going to think he's going to get lampooned, but I actually think he might gain another strong conservative convert to the idea of UBI, because UBI actually started out in conservatism, at least in its modern iteration. It started out with Milton Friedman and the Family Assistance Plan that was actually passed in the Senate underneath Richard Nixon, and then was later suggested to people such as even Ronald Reagan, though it never went far in his administration. So the reason why I think he actually could get more conservative converts to the cause is because
does he need more?
You always need more, and that's what I think will actually take him furthest, is if he can show the boomers on 60 Minutes and on Ellen, which are a lot more conservative. Your average boomer Democrat is more conservative than your younger Democrat, obviously. And I love two phrases that he says. It's not socialism, it's capitalism, where everybody starts at 1,000 instead of starting at 0, is a really good way of framing the argument. And also, the two closest and nearest examples of UBI in our society are from red states passed by Republican governors and Republican senators. The Family Assistance Plan under Richard Nixon, okay, and the pipeline dividend in Alaska.
Oh, I got a plan. Ready?
Okay, what's your
I'm brought it
plan?
up in chat. Can you go 5 minutes without talking racism or the Republicans, Democrats?
Yeah, I went 5 minutes all the time. What, you want to time me? 5 minutes right now. Look, it's 6:38 Pacific Standard Time. I will go until 6:43. However, I cannot guarantee that I won't give a World War II example.
Oh, see, there we go, man.
There will be a World War II example.
There we go, man, because here we go. Someone's talking.
Harrison Barnes says Cardin is 6'5" and have a big brain. Do not mess with him. Gun show.
There we go. That's easy.
This is one of my favorite super fans.
How about this? What do you think of Yang on Ellen's appearance will look like?
Ooh, I actually wonder. She is a comedian, and he's a funny guy.
He's got a personality. What do you think
he's
he'll look
got
like?
a personality, but I almost wonder if she would start going after him for being so intelligent and right-brained, or if she would actually want to talk policy with him. If she wanted to talk policy with him, I'm afraid that might bore the audience a little bit, because most people don't tune into Ellen in order to get policy proposals.
Good point.
So I'm really curious what the strategic conversation would be. You kind of know what I'm saying? I don't know what exactly they would talk about. They'd have to talk freedom dividend.
Maybe just say, hey, no, if I know Ellen DeGeneres in her show correctly, it'd be more like this. Hey, we did some research and we found out you used to do X during Y. Care to do Y again? oh, I know you said a lot that you hated being a corporate attorney. So we have a corporate attorney. Like, Ellen DeGeneres doesn't want to kill a segment of her own show saying, well, guys, we're talking fiscal policy today on the Ellen DeGeneres show. They're going to have something fun for him. So what do you think? In chat, let us know what game or what photo or what surprise or what thing do you think she's going to pull on him if he doesn't make it? I think he will make it there eventually.
Okay.
What do you guys think? So what do you think, Carden? How about you? I don't know if you're a big Ellen fan. I've seen some Ellen clips. I think
I've been on Ellen.
You've been on Ellen or two?
No, well, you could see me in the audience with my wife.
Okay, it's been two Ellen.
And we've actually been there 2 or 3 times to a taping. Yes. And
Ellen, super fan, been to multiple tapings.
Well, my wife's a super fan. Yeah, absolutely. And she dragged me down there. But the thing that sucks is I'm tall, so I always get stuck in the back.
You take your phone, right?
Or
you
I don't
can't
remember.
bring your phone.
The first time we got a CD and like a gift certificate to some obscure place that we could never cash in. But one thing my wife got us was we got to go to the Terranea Resort because my wife got us on the 12 Days of Christmas. We got a bunch of gift certificates and it wasn't one of the biggest 12 Days of Christmas or whatever, but it was one of her big 12 Days of Christmas, and my wife got us a bunch of gift certificates and a trip to Terranea once on the Ellen show, so I'm a fan.
That's a good point. A game based around the concept of killing the penny. That's what I mean. It's like, what challenge do you think, Carden, Ellen would bring up? Someone said bringing up his high school photos. I agree on that. She loves
his
dancing.
Spotify playlist.
Oh, dancing to a Spotify playlist. Honestly, dancing to her critiquing the Spotify playlist and then dancing to a song, that to me sounds like what they would do.
Trove 2 says something hilarious. Ellen would put $1,000 under everybody's seat.
That'd be cute.
That would be epic.
And that'd be a lot cheaper than cars, right? Deep fake Ellen.
Well, here's the only.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Space Pirate. Why does he even have to go on Ellen? We'll just fake it. We'll edit him into a video and say, "Wow, Yang was on Ellen."
You know how he was.
That?
You know how he was going to do holographic town halls, where he talked about Andrew Yang talked about doing holographic speeches.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen anything yet. That's what he alleges.
What if he just straight up did a holograph of Ellen and just did a deep fake holograph of Ellen saying her monologues and doing a show, and he interacted with Ellen? That would be the most futuristic, bomb diggity, straight up wicked campaign stunt, I guess you could call it, I have ever seen in my life.
I don't
that
think
would be epic.
The Ellen DeGeneres producers are looking for bomb diggity, straight up wicked. I think dancing to Return of the Mac is the most likely thing we're going to see if he does go on the show. That's my opinion. And showing pictures. Saying, wow, how would a guy who went from looking like this be to a guy who listens to this? And they'll play Return of the Mac and show him dressed up as like a goth guy. That's what I think. Oh, maybe bring up the thing crying? Yeah. Actually, that's a good question. Does Ellen have any kids? I don't know. They're not old enough to be forced into Hollywood via nepotism. I know that much. But maybe they're younger. I don't know.
All right. Awesome.
I think a game. I think some kind of game. Something with this music. He would get sued. I think something along those lines is what I'd imagine, right? I don't know. We'll definitely, if you guys want to send me the link to the petition on Twitter, I'd love to share it with you guys because I can post links. Oh, that's really fascinating. Venture for America, which is the organization set up by Andrew Yang to help donate to various up-and-coming entrepreneurs. Sorry, guys, I got to move some stuff around. Recently announced that they're working with Uber. Proud to announce Uber's partnership with Venture for America to diversify entrepreneurship by helping recent college grads become entrepreneurs. Uber's always had an entrepreneurial culture, and I'm excited to support this work. Tell a recent college grad to apply. Woof. Anyway, kind of interesting, right? I mean, I doubt he has anything to do with it anymore in official capacity because he's running for president, and that takes a lot of your time. But we see they're still. I didn't know Venture for America was still out there doing work.
Hey, Brian Diaz brings up a really good question, and we usually try and go back at this point in the live stream and talk about some of the things we talked about earlier in case there were people just tuning in. But this is a good question. I think we should just attack head on. Who do you think will be Yang's biggest problem on the debate stage? And Nicholas Maddox says Yang polls low with women. Ellen could help. I very much agree with him. I think that's a very astute observation. Okay, but let's go back to this question. Who do you think will be Yang's biggest problem on the debate stage? Okay, here's a problem Yang has not encountered yet, but he is going to have to start dealing with very soon. So far, he has been a fringe candidate or been a dismissed candidate or been a candidate with low poll numbers, but hey, let's get him on the stage because he passed. He has not been taken seriously. So the top 5 candidates are going to start getting desperate. I think Elizabeth Warren, twice now that I can think of, assuming that this one quote is true, that came out during the live stream, twice has said very dismissive, if not demeaning things about the UBI, okay? Insinuating that it's a pipe dream, that it's just foolishness, that it should be ignored. That is evidence that she feels threatened by it, okay? And I can tell you right now, I was sitting in the SB 54 meeting and I saw the fervor and the enthusiasm of the volunteers in the Katie Hill camp that were not with the Steve Knight camp. And I'm one of the only Republicans that correctly predicted that Katie Hill was going to win. And she did win because she had the activist fervor. You can't look at the Yang Gang and be a campaign manager for Pete Buttigieg, for Kamala Harris, for Tulsi Gabbard, for Marianne Williamson, for Hickenlooper, for Delaney, for Joe Biden, or anybody else on that stage, and not see that one of the only fringe candidates that isn't slowly pittering out and going the way of Swalwell, okay, and is actually growing and hanging in there and keeps making more sense, and keeps slivering away more celebrity endorsements, and keeps getting more large podcast and large TV show endorsements, and is less and less ignorable every day, is Andrew Yang. And sooner or later, they will feel threatened. And he will all of a sudden be on the defensive, having to counterpunch against people bigger than him, at least in the polls. And so when you say, who do you all think will be Yang's biggest problem on the debate stage? I will think it will be the first people that feel threatened by him that decide to attack him. Because right now his mindset, as he says himself, has been, we got a phone bank. We got to get my name out there. We got to get my name out there. We got to get my name out there. He will reach a point where his name is out there enough that he is going to make some of these bigger dogs in the arena feel threatened, and they will start baring their teeth and lashing out at him. And that's when I want to see how he reacts. Am I wrong, Cody?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd say you're wrong. I think the toughest person for him in the debate stage is always going to be whoever the next closest person ahead of him is. I think he comes from a different angle, so it's going to be that. I don't think he's just going to show up in the debate stage and run over everyone. That's what you're saying. I don't think he's just going to show up and it's over. Yeah. I do think in a lot of back and forth, he'll lose his share, like every candidate. He'll lose his share back and forths. I think in the end, he'll win out more debates, though, just because I think he is better set up for nailing a closing statement than other candidates. Where the other candidates have a hard time separating themselves, his platform separates himself for himself, and he's all about that. So opening and closing statements, which do mean a lot, like the debate's 3 hours. Do people get up, they go to the bathroom, they probably watch the beginning and the end, you know what I mean? And then during it, whatever. I think he will do a better job of nailing that than other people. I think you're going to see, because he does a good job hitting that closing statement, hitting that opening remark, really referencing this is why I'm running and why my campaign's important and different. I think he has a chance. I think he has a chance of winning more debates. Like I said, he'll lose exchanges. There'll be people who say, well, Mr. Yang, X and Y, you know what I mean? Like the gotchas, it happens to everyone, but I think he'll come away with more debate victories because his platform, it separates himself uniquely just right off the bat. He doesn't have to worry about separating himself beyond that. That's what I think.
Okay. Ahsoka Wilson brings up an interesting point. She says Warren doesn't appear to be data-driven. She's notorious for saying, I have a plan. But I really don't think in any Sanders kind plan. Of... Yeah, that's the joke, that it's always Bernie Sanders' plan 2.0. And Zen and Light says Bernie also dismissed UBI when a Yang Ganger asked him at a town hall. I think their dismissiveness on both of their parts would be their downfall in a debate against Andrew Yang, because facts don't lie. And facts are these great things that you can bring up to disprove somebody without making it a personal attack. Therefore, the listeners have to side with the facts instead of siding with the person. And if you have the better facts, then you win. So I could see Andrew Yang mopping the floor with either one of these. PUA guy brings up something interesting. He says Elizabeth Warren has taken a lot of corporate donor money. Be careful. Yes, she definitely has a lot bigger budget than Yang. Yes.
For that. Carl Oberg, $5 super chat. Which Democratic candidate would make the best VP for Yang? Here's what's interesting about that question. I like the wording on it, because me and Karin have talked about this. People say, oh, Yang and Tulsi would be a great ticket. best VP would not be Tulsi Gabbard. I don't think she'd work as well as a vice president. She'd be more as a. I think she would do better on like some kind of military foreign policy council. So who do you think would be the best vice president? I'm gonna.
Does it have to be one of the Democrats that's running for president now, or just anybody?
It could be anyone. I think he is gonna need for vice president some kind of borderline crony. Not quite Joe Biden, but close Democrat. Dude, he's got to. You can't afford to just burn down most of the. Like, you can't say I'm the Democrat who wins Republicans and just tells the other Democrats that don't agree with me to go to hell. Like, he needs way that. Like I said, Mike Pence wasn't some radical outsider drain the swamp guy. You know what I mean? So speaks more to the party as a whole, more based on one standard. This is who it is. Like I said, I don't think Joe Biden. I think almost like not Elizabeth Warren, but you know what I mean. Another one of those candidates, even just name people talk about that speaks to the average Democrat voter, someone who polls well with them. I think that's his best chance to win. I don't. Pete Buttigieg is an interesting point. You know what I mean? Like, I think reaching. Hey, you know what? You want the billionaires on your side? Bring in Pete Buttigieg as VP. You know what I mean? So that's not a bad plan. But I think going forward to win the White House, a VP that he'll resonate to Republicans. He needs a VP that resonates to Democrats. That's my opinion.
Yes, I agree with you. And this is a very serious question, a very good question, because Barack Obama is on the record as saying my greatest and best political decision was choosing Joe Biden to be my running mate. That's literally what he said was his greatest political decision. And it was a lot better than John McCain's choice, because with Joe Biden comes the state of Pennsylvania, all those connections of 40 years in politics, okay, and the super PAC money. Meanwhile, John McCain chose Sarah Palin, got all 2 electoral votes from Alaska, and polarized half the nation. So, yeah, exactly. So strategically, who Yang would choose as a VP, I think, is very important. And you cannot say there were so many conservatives that were not sold on Donald Trump, that were assuaged by his choice of that list that he gave out of all the Supreme Court justices that he would actually choose was a masterstroke, a genius masterstroke of political candidacy. And also choosing, I know people personally that were practically never Trumpers that were assuaged to vote for him because he fulfilled the campaign promise of hiring a conservative as his running mate in choosing Mike Pence. So I think that's a very good question of who Andrew Yang should choose. Now,
hold on. We have another great question along the same lines. Great follow-up. I love it. Thank you, Thomas Person. $5 super chat. I hope when the first attack comes, Yang just has this knowing smile like his time has finally come. I think he will do. I think he will. How about this, though? A ticket with Yang as VP. So we've talked at length. We'll get into this. The Tulsi Yang, if Tulsi were to somehow, have one hell of a movement and go all the way.
Yeah.
I brought this up in chat a minute ago. Dude, I'm telling you guys, from what I hear, what I'm seeing, don't rule this out. If things stay the way they are, I could see a Biden-Yang ticket.
Really?
Yang has mentioned that like 3 or 4 times now. Biden has like took time out of like the debates or whatever, like during the pre-show, and said, look, I want to talk to you about what you're talking about this upcoming industrial revolution and what we're seeing.
That's interesting.
I think Biden being the nod is a very far-fetched, but I think if for whatever reason things hold the way they are, the polls don't change too much, he's the president, I think Yang would be a really interesting radical in a good way. Hey, people say that Biden's old-fashioned and stodgy and losing his mind. Well, have one of the youngest guys in the race who's one of the most kind of forward-thinking guys as your VP. He can really, because I know a lot of, for example, how many people in this chat right now would say, I'd never vote for Joe Biden? And then it comes down to it, and it's like Biden-Yang, and you're like, well, Vice President Yang's not so bad. How many people in this chat right now would, if it came down to that, would say, you know what? Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll vote for Biden because I believe in Andrew Yang. Like, that's what we're talking about. The strategy of a VP, I would not rule that out. If things came down to it, I could see that happening.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Sean Sterling says Liz Warren is political expediency driven, and Michael Kwok says Warren is threatened because all of her plans can be replaced by the freedom dividend.
Well, hold on. Who do you think?
I think Yang would have to be a top contender for any choice by any other Democrat as VP, just because he's the only one that brings new ideas to the table. I mean, who are you going to choose? Kirsten Gillibrand as VP? What do you gain?
Well, other people. So, okay, hold
her
on.
ovaries.
Hold on.
That's it.
Top 3. So we got all. I know the top 3. Warren, Sanders, Biden. Let's just go through it. Biden, who do you think his VP would be? I think Yang. Who do you think?
I think Biden would go for Kamala first.
Okay, cool. So now
I think he's an establishment guy. He would assuage the establishment. He would want her money, and he'd want to be able to say the person of color vice president thing. He's like, I was vice president to the first black male president. Now I'm going to be president to the first female black vice president, even though the DNC refused to recognize Andrew Yang as a person of color when they were mentioning the persons of color.
Okay.
The POC pack.
So next, Bernie Sanders. Who's Bernie Sanders VP? He wins the nomination.
Oh, Elizabeth Warren.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Come on. Oh, are you kidding me?
Based on what?
Kidding me?
I am kidding you. Based
on the fact that comrade socialists march into war with other red cap wearing comrade socialists.
There we go.
It is past 6:43. Therefore, I am allowed to make my socialist references. But come on, he would be called a sellout if he chose
I appreciate
anybody.
that you were waiting. Finally, I can again. I could only go 5 minutes, like maybe 5, but not much longer. But I can go 5. I don't know.
You can't tell me that if Bernie Sanders chose anybody but Elizabeth Warren, that his following wouldn't devour him like rabid wolves.
I'm gonna do some magic real quick. So once again, to recap, I want you to recap. So you think Joe Biden's vice president would be?
I think Joe Biden would pick Kamala Harris. I think in his mind, if he was thinking about the good of the people, he would want to pick Andrew Yang. But he's thinking about the good of the election, therefore he's going to pick Kamala Harris.
You think Kamala Harris for Joe Biden?
Oh, she slept her way to the top with Willie Brown. Why wouldn't she just, go in for the VP position under Joe Biden? You know what I'm saying? Come on.
That is absolutely. You guys ready for some?
She'd give up the presidency for the vice presidency, knowing that she could run in the next election because Joe Biden's probably going to be dead within the next couple of years. He's so old.
Hey, look at that. Some next level production skills. Okay, cool.
Look at that. Okay.
So that's Joe Biden. Next, we're going to go Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders. I already said that he would choose a or else they're going to light the torches and go. And march on his house, all the SJWs, like it's the Castle of Frankenstein in the 1930s movie. Light your torches and go.
I should have thought about that. You stole my answer.
Okay.
So now let's see. For Bernie Sanders, Cardin again. Bernie Sanders. Honestly, dude, I think Bernie Sanders VP is actually really tough. I think of the ones, this would be the toughest one to pick.
It's not tough. You know it in your heart. You just don't want to agree with me.
I don't think it's Elizabeth Warren. I do not think it's Elizabeth Warren.
I would choose the senator from California.
No, I'm
because
doing,
she's a person of color.
I'm doing the cop out. I'm doing the hot take cop out. Amy Klobuchar. Why not?
Klobuchar?
Maybe Amy Klobuchar would be who we chose. And then
There's no strategic advantage to that. There's, in fact, to be honest with you, Bernie Sanders, even though he acts like
he wants to appeal to moderate. She builds himself as a moderate.
No, but see, Bernie Sanders is the antithesis of moderate, okay? He's the reason we have the Medicare for All in the Democrat platform. He would not choose a moderate. He would choose somebody that could help him win. Okay. And so I actually think he might go for Kamala Harris first.
So for Warren, you want to revise your answer then?
No, Bernie Sanders, I think if he woke up in the morning and he said, I want the best chance at winning this election, be damned my ideals, so I think Warren, he would choose... I think he would choose Kamala Harris if he wanted to appease the SJWs and just sell more books. Then I think he would choose Warren.
You and Bernie Sanders, man. You will just talk about Bernie forever. Moving on to Elizabeth Warren. Who do you think?
Who would Elizabeth Warren choose?
Yes.
I think she'd choose Joseph Stalin, and she.
Yeah, I was about to say Skeletor. I think she's going to pick Skeletor, and then I think Bernie Sanders is going to pick...
And people would say, well, how are you going to get Joseph Stalin out of his grave? She'd say, oh, I have a plan for that.
Hold on. I'm revising my Bernie Sanders answer for you. I'm revising your answer. Bernie Sanders, he's going to run for VP. Hunter that shot Bambi's mom. That is the vice president for Bernie Sanders, according to, look, man.
Elephant Boy says, Cardin, please. No way Bernie picks Warren. Actually, I might agree with them. These people are very calculated. And Bernie Sanders acts like he's a purist and like he's an idealist, which to a certain extent he is. Yeah. But there's that part of him that's a lot bigger than people realize that is calculating.
Let's get the end. We're almost there. Your Warren pick is Joseph Stalin?
No. Let me see. Warren would choose. I think Warren would go with Harris. I think the smart choice for a lot of these people is not Biden because he's establishment. They would go with Harris.
Warren. That's a good question, actually, with Warren.
And she would say, we're the two women. They're going to take the White House by storm and show all these men that they're just toxically masculine. And intersectionality is, yeah, come on.
Hold up. I'm doing another cop-out wild card. I think something Marianne Williamson. So, there we go. Guys, those are right now live instant. Right here are the picks for VPs of any of the three of the top 5 front runners. I picked 3 at random. Biden, Sanders, Biden, Sanders, Warren. I almost got my rubric. Anyway, if you guys disagree, please know in chat. Like I said, full disclosure, my answers for both Warren and Sanders, because to be frank, I don't really know exactly who I think would support them. So I kind of threw out some wildcard answers. But that's what, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think it's that simple. I think they would have someone they pick. Pete, and I guess we'll go at the end here for Pete. I don't have space for Pete, unfortunately. Too bad, Pete. Feel bad, Freeman. Anyway, who do you think Pete's VP is, Card?
Pete's VP would be Chasden. He'd just choose Chasden.
No, just nepotism straight out. I hope I get this name right. As a Dijaki, if that is, I hope I'm saying it right. $5 super chat. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, rock on.
I do stand behind my answer, though, that I think the idea that perhaps Joe Biden would take Andrew Yang on as the VP is not that out there. Klobuchar, like I said, man, I have no idea what Bernie Sanders' opinion of any of the other candidates are for the most part, aside from I disagree. So, that's the message. But yeah, and it's time to drink alcohol. Welcome to PSV. Shout out anyone drinking alcohol in the chat right now. Shout out anyone who is not drinking alcohol because they're sober. Shout out as well, man. I appreciate both. I appreciate all ways of life.
Like us.
That's my 90s weirdo hippie softy education right there. Any way of life, I appreciate it all. It's all great. Love people. Yes, that's Pete's husband, right? Pete's VP. Yeah, exactly. Pete's VP would just be. I thought somebody had a great thing I saw on Twitter. It was hilarious. Something along the lines of like, what do you mean Pete doesn't have minority voters support him? Only like 0.03% of Americans are billionaires. I thought that was a really good joke. Ever put that one out?
Sanders/Warren would legit be terrifying, says Marianne H. I like this.
Yeah, it would be a couple angry old people, which is like, I have to imagine as a young person, 2 angry old people running together. Something else about Mike Pence doesn't come across as angry. We'll give him that. I mentioned, like I said, appreciate all walks, all people, man. Drinking at 32 ounces of Subway.
This is hilarious. Thomas Person just said Bernie likes Andrew Yang enough to steal his lines.
Yeah,
oh, that is funny.
For the oh my god, Joe Rogan experience, he just comes out and just the debates, like a reality show. Like, wow, dude, never heard that before. Just kidding. I actually have heard that very recently, and that was from. Anyway, shout outs to production value. I just want to say one last time to our list. Screenshot it if you guys want to show how stupid we are to your friends, and say that we think people are going to be vice presidents. I'll stand by Yang for Biden. I remember I've seen videos, and the way I've seen Yang and Biden I've seen Biden pull Yang aside. I think that's it. So. That's my answer on that one. Everyone say goodbye. Bye. You know what? Moving forward, we'd love to have some graphics for you guys. Step it up, have some great full value. So
yeah,
make it look slick. Pence makes up for all the that's what I mean. Like Mike Pence literally just got he's a well-groomed guy. I can't imagine him angry or yelling. Just is Mike Pence. I'm a blah blah blah. He's so boring. He plays off against Trump's weird personality very well. Sanders, Warren. That's what I mean. Like if you're a moderate Democrat and you see a Sanders Warren ticket, it's like Buttigieg, Steyer. Oh my God, Peter, that's a great point, dude. Cardin.
What?
Apologize.
It's all good.
Who's Tom Steyer VP gonna be?
Oh, Thanos.
Yeah, the asteroid from Armageddon.
Asteroid from Armageddon.
Yeah.
No,
no.
Pete Steyer. He's a one-trick pony. He's an anti-Trump pony.
Who's Pete Steyer? I never heard him before.
Tom Steyer. Yeah. Sorry, Tom Steyer would. Tom Steyer would choose Kirsten Gillibrand because she's the only one toxic enough up there to maybe it's just like the pH level. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're the only ones that could withstand each other. All of that. Although, I don't know, Tom Steyer.
I think it'd be Tom Steyer in the boardroom. You know? Like an 80s rock band. It's like Tom Steyer in his boardroom running for president in 2020.
Yeah, Luis Torruella, our best friend from Tinder, says, I tend to forget Mike Pence exists.
That's why doing his job great,
yeah,
man.
I was about to say
doing his job.
that's why he's doing his job.
I know. Imagine if like Steve Bannon was like his vice president, just out there saying crazy things at the same time as Trump. It'd be like, oh my god. But he has Mike Pence. Mike Pence is very boring. So
real talk. Could you guys see Andrew Yang picking a Republican as a VP candidate? You want to know what? That's actually against DNC rules. So I couldn't see that because he would automatically be Rule 11 and stripped of his title as a Democrat. But I'll tell you this much right now. I think that kind of candidacy, if there were an independent that were popular enough.
Or you could drop, right? You could be a Republican who's ran Republican in 18, now run Democrat. Same thing, right?
Yeah, you can drop. But that would be really interesting. I mean, you can't tell me that if who is that Starbucks? Who is the Starbucks CEO? Not the current one, the one that sold, that was going to run independently.
Shout outs to billionaires, by the way. Keep it up, guys. Love you.
Yeah, I could see something like that doing a serious third party take, because Andrew Yang's very interesting. He's got some super conservative ideas. You look at his border policy, you look at some of his fiscal policy, you look at some of his environmental policy, and he would be right at home with conservatives. You look at his monetary policy, that's
but here's the thing, like I said, his VP needs to be Democrat then, right?
According to DNC rules, yeah.
No, but not even according to DNC rules. Dude, if I'm a Democrat voter and someone just says, no, you don't get it.
Howard Schultz.
Conservatives love him. It's like, okay, but I'm not a conservative. Why should I like him? You know what I mean? Like, he needs something to break that barrier. You can't just...
I think a celebrity candidate would actually do Yang very well. Like, if, for example...
The Rock's his VP?
No, like Mark Cuban.
I think of Mark... VP?
Dude, I mean, you can't tell me that people wouldn't trust that in a kind of Trump way. Look, in 2016...
Two businessmen who've never been in politics before in their life just
sounds a lot like Trump. Sounds a lot
Not
like Trump.
Pence. Remember, I'm a VP as well, man.
Yeah, so you can't tell me that... do you think any of the candidates up on stage besides Joe Biden, and Joe Biden's never going to go for the VP pick because he wants the president pick. All right, so you can't tell me any of those candidates up there on stage, except for maybe Kamala Harris, would bump him up as much as Mark Cuban. What if he teamed up with Elon Musk?
I don't think Elon Musk wants to run for president.
Exactly. But Mark Cuban has already made plenty of overtures about political
I think crony
service.
establishment. We're going to see crony establishment is what I think.
Okay.
That's because dude, like you have to, there's people who are like, no, there is a group of people who like I like Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, or Joe Biden, one of the three. I don't think how many people like all three. You know what I mean? We got a pointing.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, look it up in Discord, man. So, Yang is on CNN 1 hour. No, it's not. If you change parties, and Nikki Haley is kind of done with the GOP.
Nikki Haley, that.
People like
wild card.
People
jump
like
on someone.
People like Nikki Haley are very much. Nikki Haley actually reminds me a lot of Andrew Yang. You know, she's this person of color that sometimes people don't call person of color because then what again is that? Oh, but I don't define myself by it. You know what I'm saying? That makes, I think, very smart, wise decisions. I think it was smart of her to take out the Confederate flag from North Carolina's flag, just saying, you know what, it represents a rebel nation. For military, for political, for whatever reasons, like I think she handled that situation with a lot of grace. Okay, and she was practical and not idealistic, and not conservative or liberal. And she's a hard worker that everybody trusts as doing hard work, and she's smart and good at what she does. Kind of sounds a lot like a female version of Andrew Yang without all the success from Venture for America. Cody, shout it out.
Shanna Owens, Morrissey from the Smiths for Andrew Yang's VP. Morrissey VP. You know what? You want to hear a funny little bit of story here? I've maybe only seen like 5 or 6 artists live in my entire life. One of them was Morrissey. Seemed very good. Would he make a good vice president for Andrew Yang? I don't know if it's legal. Do you have to be born in the United States of America to be a vice president? I think you do. Yeah, exactly. Someone brought up with Elon Musk. Like, I think you have to be born in the U.S. to actually make those levels. So that's kind of I'd love to see it, right? But it's not possible. That's the best way of putting it. I'd love to see it, but just not. Cage is vice president. Nick Cage. I would love to just see Nick Cage in an interview actually explain why he supports Andrew Yang. Because we know he's donated. Maybe he doesn't even support, right? Elon is alien. Yang needs to go on Howard Stern. He is. Oh, I don't know why. I just kind of assumed he was on Howard Stern already, but Yeah, but you have to make because if something happens to the president, the vice president becomes the president. So unfortunately, Morrissey, unless he can build a time machine, go back in time, be born in the United States of America, cannot be the vice president. Be fun. I'd enjoy it, but it's not possible. I apologize to anyone who wanted Yang and Howard Stern. Yeah, I think Yang should do Howard Stern. He's done a lot of uncensored kind of button down stuff before. Yeah, I've heard if Michelle is in reference to Michelle Obama. I don't think Michelle Obama wants to get back in politics. I think 8 years of being in, that's why I thought it was interesting Hillary ran. Like, dude, I couldn't imagine being in the White House for 8 years, especially like your husband or just your spouse, right? You just see the things people say about your spouse and the stress they go through and all that nonsense for 8 full years. And you say, I'm back in. I don't know. I agree that I don't see Michelle Obama doing anything. Maybe years from now. They're still both fairly young, right? But and even then, Obama had a hard time selling his credentials. It's not like she's been in politics either. So I think it's out. Biden, man, I'm pulling for it. I think it's doable. I know a lot of you guys don't agree, but I think you can do Biden Yang. I think you can do it. I think if for whatever reason, because, here, want to see the numbers, guys? Here we go. Let's look at the Real Clear. By the way, full disclosure, Real Clear doesn't have all the polls, so this isn't 100%. But Joe Biden's, just killing the field. The only person making moves up towards Biden are Warren and very recently Sanders. Sanders has been floundering for a while before very recently. Kamala Harris had that, God, man, what a shame to look at, You see Kamala, big jump. Wow, those June debates, what do they do for Kamala Harris's campaign? Well, where we sit today, basically nothing. But there was a few weeks there where, whoa, Kamala was this rising star, shot herself up into the stratosphere.
Yang.
She was in the discussion, and it's all kind of fallen apart. And then we have Mr. Buttigieg, which has kind of been about... Buttigieg had this one kind of rise when he got astroturfed by the media, and then after that...
Do you know who I think would win?
Chilled.
I think the first person to get Michelle Obama.
I just spent the last few minutes talking about how I don't think Michelle Obama is going to be involved in
No,
politics.
I know, but I'm saying the first one that convinces her.
I don't think so. You have to convince me Michelle Obama should be vice president. Why? Because she was Obama's wife? What?
Dude, it doesn't matter. It's a popularity contest.
It's not that much. You have to have something. She's just first lady.
For
first
rational
ladies,
people like you, read the book, The Myth of the Rational Voter.
Yeah, but first lady's something, but I think you have to do more than first lady to be president. Andrew Yang is experiencing this hurdle. Why should you be president? You've never
but
been
don't you
in
have to do
politics.
something more than a one-term, 1.5-year senator to get president? Oh, wait, no. Obama did it. Don't you have to do something more than just be a billionaire businessman?
Oh,
wait, no, Trump did it.
If we're talking about someone like Andrew Yang, you'd want to bring someone with more experience than you, not as much or less.
No, I'm just
That's my
saying
point.
anybody on that stage that gets Michelle on there is going to win.
That's actually a good point with Mark Garnett, though. There was a time where the vice president was just the person who received the second most amount of votes. Which is hilarious.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Hillary would be VP right now if we still had that system. Imagine how funny that'd be. Hey, you know what? Shout outs to a time in American politics where that was actually possible. Could you imagine Hillary being vice president of Donald Trump for 4 years? Could you imagine that?
That would be crazy.
They'd be plotting death against each other all the time. So
that literally would be nuts.
Yeah, that was a bunch. Yeah. No, I'm not saying that Michelle Obama shouldn't be. I'm just saying that if you're talking about someone who doesn't have a lot of experience, they probably want someone with more. Maybe a Joe Biden kind of type. But Biden would be weird. But you know what I mean? Someone with a bunch of experience. You have to get one end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cardin can't tell you what he's drinking. It's against his. It's against his thing.
Wait. What do you mean I can't tell you what I'm drinking? I'm drinking pure water.
Hold on.
Non-endorsed.
Hold on.
We just swung by the 7-Eleven.
Is there a video? Shanna, whoever it is. No, whoever it is. I hope I got the pronunciation correct. I apologize. Please tell me you have video of Yang meeting the mooch. That's my favorite thing I ever heard. Ever. Yeah. Someone send me on Twitter, please. I'm going to try to find it ahead of time. I'm pretty crafty, but Yang and the mooch. Oh, my God, Shanna. Please send me that or tell me where to find it. One of my all-time favorite political enigmas. Oh my God, here he is. There's no video, but Card, check it out.
There it is.
There's my
Yang and Scaramucci.
The mooch.
The mooch.
The mooch, man. Let's see. We're gonna hang around till 8. I might, if I can get the CNN thing on. I don't want my channel pulled down. Here, one second.
Dude, don't do CNN, bro. They got interns that are scouring the internet looking for you to see if you're doing it. I don't think that's necessarily a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm going to hit back here to the chat, see what everybody's saying. This has been absolutely crazy. Just thinking about this and who Andrew Yang could choose. But to a certain extent, it's kind of a fear that I have. The only two things that I see about Andrew Yang struggling with is going to be foreign policy. Okay. And also the insider baseball. Sometimes talking about this is a little bit of a fool's errand, only because we don't know what deals are getting done behind closed doors. And if there is a party that is behind closed doors, it's first the Democrats, second the Republicans, third the billionaires of America that are feeding into both of them, keeping the rest of us poor. I know that sounds like a total talking point, but yeah, I kind of wonder where strategically you would go with that. So anyway, here we're going to go back to the questions here. I had a couple of them highlighted. Then we wait for Biden to die. Yeah, actually, the age of all of our political candidates is of serious concern. Our scientific advances throughout the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s made it so that baby boomers not only lived longer, but retained their power for so much longer than any other generation has. It's unfortunate, but Congress is a bunch of boomers. I mean, congressmen serve for 20 or 30 years now, when they used to serve for like a decade, and that was considered a long time. So, yeah, all these people. I mean, people are worried about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you know, and a lot of the liberals on the Supreme Court, and how if Donald Trump wins another 4 years, how it means that we're going to have this wide sweeping change in the Supreme Court because, well, yeah, guess what? I mean, there are measurable quantifiers and algorithms that can predict what's the probability of somebody dying. And let me tell you, by the time you hit 70 in the United States of America, you are living on borrowed time. And the probability of you dying the next year, if it were a dice roll, would actually be a lot higher than lower. So anybody that does team up with Biden, you can see he's slowing down. He keeps his hair cool and he keeps himself pretty sweet.
Yeah, folks. Sorry about that. Sorry guys, just jumping in. I'm kind of behind on the chat. I don't know what we were talking about. Yang and Jay-Z. That's a good choice for president. Yang and Jay-Z. Dude, it's only so long. People keep saying Kanye's gonna run, but it's only so long until we see more entertainers in general throw their hats into the election thing. Donald Trump was a unique kind of star, but it's gonna be so long till we see some other kind of celeb come out. Yes, sorry guys about the audio situation. I had to cut the audio for 1 second. Sherrod Brown is Yang's VP. Hey, you know what? Maybe so. They cut the mics. I did it, man. I cut the mics. I apologize, guys. There's just a message that must have been relayed offline, so, or off air, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Dude, Yang and the Mooch cracks me up. I'm not gonna lie, it's one of the funniest things. Oh, cool. I don't know if Carden mentioned this or not, but if not, if you did, whatever. David Valdez, $5 super chat. I just want to say you guys are great, and I love listening to your show. I became a fan after following Andrew Yang. Thank you very much, man. Very much appreciate it. Hold on. I have not seen that yet. I want to pull it up, though. Trump retweeted a poll. Speaking of Trump and retweeting, I just want to give a shout out real quick. Recently, there's been a very big story. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it, and I don't know. Frankly, I think it's a bunch of nonsense involving Chris Cuomo and whether or not he's Fredo from The Godfather. Whatever. Anyway, the video is credited to a gentleman, Brandon, from That's the Point with Brandon, who we actually met and had in a radio show a little while back. Very cool guy. Seems like a very genuine dude, and I just want to give him a shout out for that. And yeah, we definitely, like I said, I want to see that Andrew Yang interview. I want to see, because Don Lemon, Anderson Cooper had come around already to Yang in the recent months. Van Jones, we all know, has came around to the Andrew Yang. But I'm sorry, I'm trying to find that poll that Donald Trump retweeted. I cannot find it yet. But it'll be interesting to see Don Lemon, how he kind of takes either way, good or bad, this appearance with Andrew Yang. I'm really kind of interested in that. Yeah, Carter back in a minute. Yeah, he just has something happen outside. Let Gardens. No, never. He can't. He speaks too much truth. The truth cannot be shared. Yang and Banjo-Kazooie. That, you know what, guys? There we go. That'd be a fun meme idea. People that are better at Photoshop than I am. If you could Photoshop Andrew Yang and other humorous people as VPs, that'd be fun. O'Card will be right back. He had someone do a 10-2 in the other room. He'll be right back. That's not a bad point, Xenon. Him bringing up, well, you know, you have support from 4chan. 4chan is X, Y, and Z. It's not a bad. Yeah, Steve Danley does some cool stuff, but it's not a bad prediction, dude. I can definitely see that happening. I hope it don't, right? I hope we get better than that, but I can see it happening. Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that, like, how much more can Andrew Yang clear the air? He says, like, look, I don't want any white supremacists to support me. There's things I'm doing that's winning over people voted for Yang, but they weren't all white supremacists, so that's why. Like, that's why it's working, right? So I hope he doesn't have to just, I got bad news for you guys. Cardinals is right here. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. There we go.
Yeah. My daughter was doing some crazy shenanigans.
Like I said, he's got...
I got to go here in 2 minutes, bro.
Lemon? Okay. Well, I was going to...
You're going to hang out in the feed, or you're going to keep going?
Yes, I want to hang around until I can see this Don Lemon thing with Andrew Yang. Been meaning support for a while. Oh, thank
What's
you.
What's hashtag release Cardin? I don't get that one.
Thank you very much. Who would you pick for VP for Yang, who is not a current candidate? Interesting question. 1 second. They said that because I cut your mic off and I was telling you about the
okay.
to attend. So there we go.
So anyway, got a super chat. I'm gonna shout it out. Jacob Wheel, what's up, my man?
I just read that.
Oh, you did? Crap, sorry.
Okay, I'm just joking with you, man. But it's a good question. Well, I got you here. So, non-presidential candidate VP. That's a really good point, man. Who do you think who's not running for president would be Yang's VP? Not currently running for president.
Michelle Obama. No.
You bring that? Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Michael Moore. No.
Michael Moore. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good point. I don't know why I think of that.
I think it would actually be somebody that is considered... Dude, I got to tell you, I think like the Mark Cubans of the world would be really good.
Also
running...
not in politics. Someone also not in politics. Yeah. Two outsiders, what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think that would be a huge...
It's not crazy.
That'd be a huge up.
That's not crazy, two outsiders. I disagree, but I don't think it's water drunk. That's a great word for him, Michael. You got it.
Yeah.
Water drunk, man.
Getting sloshed on water. Corrales says Van Jones is one of the best political minds of this generation. I hate him and would still vote for him. I don't know if I'd say he's the best political mind.
I agree with that second part of it for sure. Yeah. He's one of those guys, dude. Like you see him on camera and there's just something bad. He looks like a really likable guy. I'm like, I wish that was my president. He seems really cool and likable. And then like, I remember, even for example, this is one of the things that won me over the most. There's a Project Veritas video of him that leaked out over a year ago now, probably, where he was saying that the Russia thing's like a big nothing burger. But just like this, like, the cadence and the way he carried himself, I'm like, is that how he just talks to, like, interns and stuff on the street? Like, what a cool guy. I don't know.
Yeah. No, he definitely seems like a cool cat.
He's kind of got that thing going for him.
Yeah,
he's got that thing going for him where you just kind of like, I want to like that guy. He seems cool. It's like,
this is my last thing.
The Rock, dude. That's a good VP.
This is my last thing before I make good on my promise. Before I make good on my promise to help my wife out with the children after a certain hour of the evening.
Big promise.
Of which I am 22 minutes late already. Yang and Chuck Norris. Jim Mage, that's your power couple. Right there.
How old is Chuck Norris?
I don't care. He does not age. He slams revolving doors. And Chuck Norris, that is I've never thought about Chuck Norris running for for political office. But hot damn.
He's older than Bernie Sanders.
Oh man.
Do you know that? No,
dude, what about Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan will not run for president.
VP.
Or VP. So could you imagine if, God forbid, something happened and he became president?
Oh, man, that'd be crazy.
Yang and pulling up.
Yeah. All right, man, I got to bounce, bro. You going to stay up on it?
I want to hang around until we see this thing that happens with the with Don Lemon. I want to give you guys a good reaction to Don Lemon. So we'll see where we are then.
All right, I'll be watching.
All right. Say bye.
Oh. Later. See you, Yang Gang.
There we go. I made him say bye again, guys. Don't worry. But I guess I'm just gonna hang around for a little bit longer. I want to see this Don Lemon thing here while I'm on air with everyone. God, I don't have like a TV or anything, so I'll have to pull up some other way of watching it. But we gotta watch this, dude. I really want to see what happens. Real Talk, NJ and Marissa Mayer. Political off. It's a good point. It's a good point, Michael. He doesn't run for the office. It runs for him. Is Joe Rogan doing a video with Dave Chappelle that came out today? If so, wow. I just recently was watching some Dave Chappelle clips from the recent Comedy Central skit he did. I don't know. Either way, though, how cool is it? He was part of that crazy thing that happened called Chappelle Show, right? Joe Rogan and Pastor Don Lemon. That's why I'm interested in hearing what Don Lemon has to say. I really am. I really want to see how he talks to Andrew Yang. Is it? Because if it's already kind of just business as usual, okay, he's another guy running for president. That's a pretty big place to be. You know what I mean? And for anyone who's just joined in the last few minutes, there's something really important news that came out in the Andrew Yang campaign. A lot of you guys that have been here for a minute, you probably already recognize this. But the Mooch and Yang, they've been in the same room at the same place and they met each other. Still can't get over it. Still can't get over that actually happened, man. Like, hey, oh my God. Who do I think will be his VP who isn't running? Scaramucci, the Mooch. Who could hate the Mooch, huh? Imagine that. Yang and the Mooch for 4 years. Wow. That would be one hell of a ticket. Hard to beat, Yang and the Mooch. I would go with them. During the debates, Lemon didn't ask Yang a lot of questions. That's it. That's what I mean. Like, I haven't actually got a good perspective of how Yang thinks about, or how Lemon thinks about Yang and how he potentially would treat him. I honestly don't know a whole lot. Gordon Ramsay. Dude, Gordon Ramsay. He can't run for VP. Who is the Mooch? Who is the Mooch? Well, you know what? Hold on one second, guys. Before I can get to an answer about who's the Mooch, really quickly, I'm actually going to try something I haven't tried before. Or I haven't tried in this before. I'm going to run an ad real quick while I try to find the CNN stream. So don't hate me, but I got nothing to say right now. So give me 1 second. All right, I don't know if you have ad block or you're back or you never left or whatever. But I think I found a stream and I think I see Don Lemon talking. So I'm waiting. Oh, God, you guys never guess what Don Lemon's talking about in CNN right now. I mean, the president's big news, but that's what he's talking about. It's the president. So, oh, whoops. Yikes. You didn't see me do that. That's not what I just did, guys. Nobody respects the rights of giant mega corporations. Oh, my God. Here's the audio, guys. I can't show the video, but...
Nervous and neurotic. You can just tell by the way he's talking.
The Mooch and CNN.
Guys. I sort of feel bad for that. Secondarily, I never begged him for a job, so that's sort of ridiculous.
Way to go, Mooch. Anything, I love it.
I've been working on the last 2 years, as you know, repairing my marriage, so I think the worst thing I could do is go back into the White House and blow up again, right? I mean, Everyone's blowing up. You saw my tweet about the revolving door with the backstabbing. Yeah. So he can say what he wants to say, and unfortunately, you know, he's dug in deep with the lies. He can't help himself. And, yeah, that's the White House Employment Agency right there. That's what happens to everybody that goes through there. And he needs to know that there's a lot of people that he's burnt that are like, okay, he's unstable at this
guys,
point.
There's a little bit of the Mooch. Sorry, I'm experimenting around here. I'm trying to see what I can and can't get away with. I noticed in Yale's first show that Cardin's very skeptical of Yang. However, his views of Yang have changed a lot since then. Care to elaborate? Honestly, I think he just didn't know a whole lot about him. And I don't have ad block, no ad. Oh, really? So let me see. I'm going to try to click it again. Maybe this doesn't do what I think it does. So it said ad inserted. Anyone who perhaps knows more about this could tell me more. But it says ad inserted. Oh, maybe you guys have like Plus, YouTube Plus, something like that. I don't know. Either way, like I said, I don't know what it does, so I'm still trying to figure out how a lot of this stuff works, guys. I'm sorry. Man, I think it's just so funny, man. It's like, you know, what do they say about Speak of the Devil, right? And all of a sudden we look up, and there he is, the man, 11 p.m. for Yang. Okay, so we have 30 minutes until Yang is on. 30 minutes until Yang is on. Okay, cool. That's not too long. I can hang around for you guys. I have it, like I said, I have it open in the other tab. We can watch it together. I might have to just end the stream VOD, like, halfway through. I hope I don't get like striked for that, but I think by and large I should be a lot better off than people were during the debates. So, can I post the link? Oof. Tell you what I can do. I will post the link. How about this? I'll hope you guys find it. What I did. I don't have. So I didn't get an ad. I wonder what that is. Oh no, one of these other 3 of those guys. I'm sorry. 35 people have left since Cardinal. Yeah, well, it shows both of us, right? Like, I believe it. What do you think is Yang's biggest flaw? I think Yang's biggest flaw is that he is so unknown and he brings so much to the table that he actually doesn't do a very good job of explaining why you should port. He doesn't do a good enough job of getting everything across. We did a video on it today, but I think it's one of his biggest flaws. He doesn't do a good enough job of really fully getting across everything he stands for, because he stands for so much, or he claims to, right? Maybe he hasn't been pushed on a lot of this stuff, but I think that's his biggest flaw. He says about UBI and then the VAT will pay for it, but there's a lot of other stuff I think he needs to fold in there he hasn't yet. Maybe he'll moving forward, but for now, I think that's his biggest flaw. So that's what I think. Yeah, well, here's the thing, Sean, and I could also play the audio in the background. You guys can watch video with me. I do think this is a little bit different because this isn't the live stream of the debates they're pumping. I think this is the link. Yeah, there we go. You know what, Cravens? That is the link that I am using, man, and it's working. Just shout outs to being able to Google Reddit and then X stream and find the stream you're looking for. Shout outs to that, man. What knows a really big flaw to Yang. Yang has got a really we were talking earlier. He needs chin surgery. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that like sculpted chin he would need, I think. Mayor Pete Andrew Yang is not a crazy thing, man, at all. I definitely don't think that's like out of the world possibility. I don't know for sure though, but I don't know. What do you think of the polling strategies now? Do you think they're accurate? Accurate's tough, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they're accurate. They probably do a decent job of charting what they want to chart, but I don't know, man. I don't know how accurate they are. I think they do fine for what they're intended to do. I think they're fine for that. But I don't think they're necessarily perfect. I think it could be better. So, I guess that's the better answer. Could be better. Does fine, but could be better. See you, Borp. I'm just saying, man. I'm shallow that way. Hey, you know what? He's got that in other people, though. Yang and Pete have the same shit. Do they really? Hold on. Do they really? If they do, I'm going to stand corrected. Nah, Pete's got a little better, but yeah, same thing. I think the bigger thing is just it's the being involved in like either politics or Yang's been an entrepreneur and on the road for a while. Like you probably do kind of gain that baby weight, You are busy all the time. Busy all the time. People aren't people that have the time to, everything else. Like look at Trump, Trump doesn't have a chin either, so. Yang, well, it's tough. I think Yang does do better than the polls say, but I do think it's pretty accurate to say he's still, down in the single digits. He still has ways to go, but I guess we could do a straw poll while we're waiting, guys. Is the Mooch is. So what is he saying?
The United States by establishment politicians for those people, and I applaud him for that. I grew up in a blue-collar neighborhood.
Has he delivered for those people?
Well, I think it's mixed, but I think that the lower income people...
Here's the thing with Scaramucci talking crap about Trump. It's like, he fired you, dude. I'm sorry, but I don't... Yeah, my boss, before he fired me, he was the worst. Now that he fired me, he's even worse. Like, oh, yeah, really, man. Holy cow. Nobody, wow. We talked candidates for how long, and we never said Cory Booker. We didn't say Beto either, but you're right, dude. I think Yang Booker, I just don't know what Yang or Booker could bring to each other, I don't know that. I think they would need more for someone else. That's what I think. Did anyone see a shot of Yang getting slammed by a low-budget reporter about how many genders there are in Iowa? What? No, I never saw that, dude. Booker, there's a video that recently surfaced of Yang and Booker chumming it up, being friends, So, I don't know, right? Maybe. Let's see. There we go. Booker was totally embarrassing on Star Trek. What about Cory Booker on Star Trek, dude? We did a video on it, but Yang calling Trump a slob, I guess I'm like I said, ultimately I'm a fan of trash talk, and I like trash talking. And if he's going to run for president, his opponent will be Donald Trump. Might as well trash talk. And that's what I think. Because it could be offensive. Not saying it was the greatest thing ever, but I like trash talk and I appreciate the trash talk. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Bring it on. Booker. Nah, I don't see Bernie Yang ticket, dude. I really don't. I don't know. I can't explain why. I just don't see it. Yeah, what about Booker and Star Trek? I'm seeing some Booker and Star Trek. What are you talking about? Hawaiian assassins to get in the debate stage. How about that? Isn't that a Star Talk, not Star Trek? Am I really just, reading impaired? I just read that incorrectly? Yeah. I just read it incorrectly multiple times. That's hilarious. Well, apologize, guys. My reading comprehension skills are about there. Start Talk. I still, unfortunately, don't know exactly what you're talking about. Sloth. Oh, sloth, not slob? Okay. I mean, pretty similar. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Beto, I don't get Beto. He couldn't win the state, so he's going to win the nation. Okay. Troy Bradley, $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Troy. Do you think Yang is baiting Trump, hoping for a tweet storm that elevates Yang profile name recognition? I think if there was a tweet storm, as you said, it would definitely boost his profile and name recognition. I think Star Talk, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Thank you for pointing that out. Guys, I don't get everything, but I think that'd be the best result of him baiting Trump. Is that exactly what you said, Troy? Yeah. If he gets called out, it's just going to make him bigger than he ever was. So, is he doing it for sure? For that reason, I can't say. I can't put words in his mouth. Would it greatly benefit him? And do I think he's a pretty smart guy and he can see that? Yeah. I think that's true. Bernie Yang are ideological. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Bernie and Yang have way too many real divides, and they don't do a good enough job of making up for each other's weaknesses, right? So I don't think so. Bernie explicitly said he was against UBI. Yeah, that's what I mean. They have, there's some rifts there. I don't think it's worth it. No, that's a good point, Caleb. Like I people who say they don't like that Yang did it and they feel that he crossed the line he shouldn't have crossed, other stuff like this, I honestly sure, yeah. Like I kind of agree with that. I don't think it's a bad take. Like I said, I'm a fan of trash talk, so I'm all for it. I know it sounds stupid and simplistic, but really, just saying rude, dismissive things to your opponent, I'm not against, because they're your opponent, man, and you're going up against them, and I think all is fair between the lines, so to speak, and then outside of that's when you have to kind of tone it in. But as far as combatants, I like it. Cloth talk. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because the thing is, if you wait to be on the defense in politics, you might get kind of screwed over. Calling Trump a white supremacist at the state fair in Iowa. You know what? That's really funny, Troy, that you, that is really funny, man. I immediately went to the other comments he made. I guess my point on that is, to be frank, I think calling Trump fat and saying he couldn't run a mile would just be a better job of baiting him than calling him supremacist. Because just a lot of people do call it, do say things about him in the media. So having somebody else who would be attacking him personally, I think Trump will respond to that more. And I guess I think he had his mic on, so you guys are hearing. I'm sorry about that, fellas. Fellas and ladies, of course. Let me do it. And no, good points, it does not fit with his brand, but Cloth Talk is DJ Colin Memo. Dude, I apologize. I'm a boomer. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. I just think if you wanted to bait Trump, yeah, say he's a slob who can't run a mile. That will bait Trump more than just continuing attacks that, oh, Trump thinks this and that, because Trump hears it all the time. But someone saying that, someone saying you can't do 20 push-ups is well, hey, screw you, man. Yeah, I can't. I definitely, you know what I mean? I think that's more the way I look at it. That's kind of my perspective on it. Tim Pool is I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say that. It can deflect being called racist. He can't. Yeah, that's my point exactly. He can say, no, of course not. Let people defend me. And what happens? Okay, cool. Run a mile. And it is kind of it is it's people point out, it is basically bullying, right? All right, fine, do 20 push-ups then, huh? It's well, that's not fair, dude. You know what I mean? But dude, at the same time, it would. I think it's an effective way to attack. God, did I have CNN open on the other tab here? They are really just talking Scaramucci, man. Like, oh, by the way, that's why Scaramucci and Yang met. I guess Yang's gonna be live with him, not just patched in remotely. Very cool. But geez, like Scaramucci says Trump will be bad. It's like he fired him. Scaramucci got fired by Donald Trump. Why would he have anything good to say about the guy? He fired him like 4 days into his job. Oh, they're not like law of mics. It's a podium mic over here. But you know what I mean? Like, of course he's going to say bad things about him. Like, I actually believe the bad things Scaramucci says about Trump less than other people because he fired him 3 days into his job. So, yeah, if somebody fired me 3 days into my job as, like, White House communication director, I'd be pissed off and I'd probably, you know, have bad things to say about the guy. So I just think it's funny that they run this, the media runs stuff like that. It's like, dude, of course he doesn't like him. What are you talking about? I fired him publicly, embarrassed him, and look like a fool. Another good point. Probably it's pre-recorded, but still, I mean, like they were both in the CNN studios. It wasn't like a remote thing. I think that's pretty cool. Yang's going to the debate stage with Trump, but declared Trump was his VP. That's a good point. Yeah, well, sometimes we'll get there early and then do it later. But yeah, it could be that. Just announced Kasich is Kasich. That is kind of funny because he has been running for... God, there's Trump again. Trump secretary from the event in Pennsylvania to campaign style rally. He does get gets a Scaramucci. No, but it just in general, you know what I mean? Fair or unfair, it's a bias I have, where if somebody comes to me and wants to tell me how much their boss that fired him is an asshole, I'm going to be like, yeah, okay, dude, I hear you. I mean, sure, I would probably feel the same way, right? So it's just hard, you know. Why should you trust anyone that endorsed Trump before? Dude, if Trump tweets about Yang before the week is over, a couple days, like 5 days, it's doable. How crazy would that be, man? I agree with Tim Pool, but and his fans were not cool with Yang trashing Trump. Yeah, but that's... Cryptocator, $5 donation. If every job is automated, is the only job left for the porn industry. I don't know, man. They might be able to deep fake those people soon. You know what I mean? Also, I don't know how many people were familiar with this, but anyway, there is a woman who is an actress in those films by the name of Mia Khalifa, I believe. A lot of you guys probably saw this on Twitter. But anyway, she went on Twitter the other day to kind of clear the air about something, and this I think is actually really interesting. I want to bring it up to you guys. I think it's really interesting you brought up. Like, okay, is like sex work going to be where the work is in the future when we replace people? This was a tweet she sent out the other day. Let me pull it up. There's a series of tweets. Here we go. And she said, people think I'm racking in millions from adult videos. Completely untrue. I made a total of around $12,000 in the industry, and I never saw a penny again after that. Difficult finding a normal job after quitting the industry. It was scary. Full interview here. $12,000. 13 million views, by the way, in a day. I mean, this was... But because it's shocking. Like you said, is that where people go? I don't know, man. If the woman make $12,000 in something that... Because here's the thing, as she said, right? Like, you made your money, $12,000, and a lot of people point out below in the comments that, like, well, she still profits from having been famous. Like, that, like, you can argue what kind of famous, but famous, right? But at the same time... Okay, I see you guys. But you see what I mean? Like, at the same time, she's bringing up the fact that, like, look, I made $12,000 doing this years ago, and now it, you know, for better or for worse, follows me for the rest of my life. That people think, as you guys are pointing out in chat, people are acting like, oh, yeah, of course I know who she is. Dude, she only did it for, like, a few months and made $12,000. It's not like some, like, big career she had for 20 years. And that's how she's remembered. So I'm telling you, like, it is really, it's just a person, you know, it's just a person in one of those films. But yeah, that's what I think. It's really, it's tough, man. Especially, like I said, there's sex robots. I don't even know if there will be frontiers. I pointed out earlier. I think creative writing, if it's just like so niche and like, wow, creative writing, awesome. I'll just do that, you know. But still, I think like some things that require creative human thought, we still can't fully use AI and automation for correctly yet, or it requires a lot of trial and error. Maybe to the point where replacing jobs is a ways off. But I don't know, man. It's really tough. We'll have to kind of see when we get there. But I mean, like I said, it's oh yeah. Actually, I remember when I read the tweet, I thought about that. Oh, you guys pointing it on chat. Yeah, that's the freedom dividend. See, she as an adult entertainment superstar, and all she made was the equivalent of 1 year freedom dividend, man. Now she's profited more, as I've said since, but still, it's something to look at. Sorry, the Indian Hitman. This is a pornography fee chat. Should we invite more porn stars on the show? You know what? They have a lot of audience. I think Mrs. Khalifa had how many followers? 13 million people watched the video, and she has 2.7 million followers on the platform of Twitter. So, yes, well, she only made $12,000. Let me tell you guys something. If you got 2.7 million followers and you got business inquiries in your Twitter bio, you're making money. So, she benefited from it more than that financially. But as far as like the amount of money you're paid for being in these industries, your really best bet is to use the industry to increase your brand profile and then make money that way. I believe that's how Jenna Jameson and others made money. They increased their brand profile. So, interesting question though, man. Like, is that the future of one of the futures of work? Is an increase in sex work? Like I said, between the robots that can do it and the fact that we could do like deep fakes and stuff, I don't know, man. And the fact that it's still not lucrative today. And as Mark Garnett put out, I don't want to speak about it, but as Mark Garnett put out, yes, also weird things that were illegal will no longer be illegal. I don't like a lot of it. Cardin is the... Holy cow, man. I don't know if you guys heard that, but holy cow. What was the name of the video about Trump tweeting about you? That just quite innovative. Oh my god. No, Alan's not a fan of the checks. Okay. Steve Danley for Yang. Cool. Let's see if I can find. By the way, shout outs to Steve Danley, man. He is correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's the gentleman who's actually doing targeted ads for Andrew Yang on YouTube in early voting states, which is very cool. I like that. Shout out to him, man. I don't see any. I don't see exactly so. Yes, exactly. This is a Christian chat room, guys. This is a Christian server, so. Yeah, but dude, like I don't know. I think that's again. There's so many angles. Oh. Someone asked before about the controversy with the statue poem. They're talking about rewriting it. Oh, Don Lemon's talking about it right now, guys. I didn't know that exactly. So now I know that. Okay, cool. Any of the Corridor Crew stuff. Let me check. I don't know if it's what we... I'm assuming it wasn't what I showed earlier. Oh, yes, it was not what I showed earlier. Corridor Crew. They fix up VFX. Interesting. Yeah, like I said, I should have video earlier on it. Yeah, dude, I think we're not too far away from videos that you actually... Sorry. I think we're pretty close to them being good enough where we actually can't trust video anymore as being 100% authentic. That's what I think. Sucks, but I think we're actually pretty close. Why do people stick up with super rich? Yeah, because I think they think they're going to be super rich one day. A great book to read. I'll think inside the future. Michio Kaku. Very interesting. Okay, cool. Many years ago. Okay. Yang needs to talk with the gaming industry as they are unionizing. Interesting point, man. I think Yang needs to talk more about gaming in general. Now, I'm biased because I want to hear him talk about gaming because I'm interested in gaming, so that's cool to me. But still, I think there's never been a president who's really openly talked about it, right? Can't hurt. Oh, by the way, guys, shout out to Tom Steyer for president 2020. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly. It's on Steve's community. Oh, got it, dude. There are 5 billion gamers there. Yeah, a lot of gamers, man. A lot of gamers. Are you in Carson's garage? No. We have California. We have like weird stuff in California. It's a good point by Edward. Yeah. Well, I mean, being rich helped, right? But obviously, the fact that Trump was a superstar, like everyone knew who he was, helped a lot. I don't understand anyone who thinks Brady's a long shot. The man is the most individual nations of all time, and it's a fan base growing on. I don't think Brady's a long shot anymore. 16 he was, not anymore. What do you think about Take-Two and Pointless? Are you talking about sending private investigators to YouTubers' houses? Stuff like that? I don't know much more about the story, but I think that Take-Two and Gearbox are probably not going to handle the Borderlands 3 release correctly. That's what I think. I think somehow 2K Games are going to find a way to screw it up. That's what I think. So, PUBG? PUBG, honestly, people out here, for the gamers in the chat, I am actually really not a fan of Battle Royale games at all. Not at all. So, Friday Night Eagle tabletop game. Yeah, that's interesting. What do you think about Nintendo releasing the first openly gay Pope? Didn't know that happened. Interesting. Take on weed. I'm pretty libertarian take in the sense that, like, I don't know, man. I think for the most part, if it is, like I said, we live in California, it's recreational legal. People just buy it anywhere. So beyond that, I don't know, man. I don't care. I guess that's my take. I don't care. I don't think it should be illegal. If it was illegal, I wouldn't protest against it, but it's just like, I don't know, man. Do whatever you want. Just be safe. That's my softy response. I platinum Dark Souls 1 and 3, by the way. And you know what's funny, Shauna? I am literally in the process right now of attempting to platinum both Dark Souls 1 Remastered and Dark Souls 3. Like, I'm literally jumping in between and trying to platinum them while doing this stuff. So, what games do I play, QI? Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Dota 2. And sports games. It's basically what I play. Yeah, sorry guys, we're getting really close to the thing. So, the little detour here about video games. Yeah, I mean, Apex was better for the most, but yeah. Yeah, I saw that was interesting. Yang finally, Yang's making more polls. That's kind of why. Activision canceled StarCraft. Activision, man. Blizz. Hey, you know what? Bungie left. Maybe Blizzard will leave. Instead, D&D should be some Vampire the Masquerade. Woo, very interesting. I do play Dota 2. I'm a very big Dota 2 fan. I'm a libertarian and thinks people should be allowed to do whatever they want. That's why I'm a gamer. Warframe's an interesting game, man. I played a little bit of Warframe. But yeah, I think I have like 4,000 hours or 3,000 hours in Dota 2. I'm working on 4,000, so I'm a big-time Dota 2 fan. Aaron, you know what I did, Aaron? I spent $30 on my 1 month of EA Origin Access, and I played Anthem, and I was like, oh no, it's terrible. And then I was able to put it away. So that was, like I said, then I just played Dota 2 after that. Yeah, for any Dota 2 fans, International, I believe, hold on, let me do a little detour to liquiddota.com. Shoutouts Liquid Dota, by the way. I believe the International starts in like a day or so. 22 hours and 9 minutes till the International starts. Woo-wee, folks. It's gonna, I'll tell you what, Tudamax, if you can message me that on Twitter just so I don't miss it. Yeah, dude, play Dota 2. I love play Dota 2 anyway, I don't care. I'd love to be able to get my thing set up so I could stream it. Just because I love Dota 2. But yeah, anyway, for any of my Dota fans, 22 hours and 9 minutes till the International 2009 starts. What games would you buy with your first Freedom dividend payment? I would rebuy Breath of the Wild for my Switch because I own it for the Wii U, but I just cannot bring myself to spend $60 to buy a game I literally already own. That's probably what I would do. And then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch because once again I cannot. Jeremy Lin does more than play Dota. Jeremy Lin, I believe, is like a part owner of one of the newbie squads for competitive Dota. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Newbie Storm. Oh, no, so not Newbie. It's VG Storm, and then there's also VGJ, which stands for VG Jeremy Lin, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's how it goes. Yeah, the No Man's Sky update, man. I'm also keeping my eye out for the No Man's Sky update. 1 second, folks. Yeah, that was one of those games I purchased a little bit later because I was a little interested. Well, like I said, you asked me the first game I'd purchase. Yeah, first thing I'd purchase is brand new 4K camcorders for the set. That's most likely I would do. But the first game I would purchase would be that. Oh, dude, you've no idea. I've been playing Dota 2 way too much for way too long now. It's one of my. I was on to hear Han. Torok, you missed out. Dota 2 is so much better than Han. No offense, they have the original. I also am very biased, as I said. I have like 3,000 hours of Dota 2, and that isn't even counting hours I've watched. So, yikes! I've watched a lot more. Mia Khalifa could be any. Isn't there already a porn star who did like a porn segment in like For the Bag? Like there was like all about like full Yang memes. I've never seen it, but I do believe it exists. Interviewer, what? I don't know. Like I said, I'm waiting to see when Yang hops on CNN. I think it's coming up soon. It should be the next 5 minutes, guys. I think he actually said with Emperor Xander. I think he said what D&D class he played. I forgot. I think in the AMA. Do I prefer Toe Jam or Earl? I'm more of a Toe Jam guy, to be frank. But it's honestly tough. I kind of like the game to me is just so much about like just kind of like I don't know. I feel like both of the characters kind of bring within you to it, and you just kind of hang out with them. So eventually, over the course of the game, you hang out with them both long enough, you like them both. That's kind of my take on it. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, guys, for anyone who came in and they're like, why are they talking about video games? I'm sorry, because I'm just trying to fill in out the last few minutes till we get to the interview. And then we can watch the interview together. I hope, yikes, don't put much down. No, but we should be fine to watch the interview. I'm going to do the, for anyone who's familiar with the Botchamania style, I'll do halfway of that, where you just crop the screen so you guys can barely see it. Apologize to my fans, but don't want to get pulled down. So, Trump on CNN. Yeah, the Trump on CNN always, right? If Yang don't win the gamer president, it's who I bet. Yeah, dude, someone's gonna take that mantle from him if he doesn't seize it of gamer president, right? Is Andrew Yang? Andrew Yang is a PC gamer for sure. He's got to be a PC gamer. I don't think he'd be anything else. I'm not a fan of RPG games, turn-based RPG games. Sean, I'm sorry, I don't have the patience. I really don't. Oh, here we go. Coming up, one-on-one with Andrew Yang. Howdy, fellas. Here we go. And that's a sweep to the commercials. Well, anyway, next segment. So stick around, guys. In just about a few minutes here, I'm guessing 90 seconds to 280 seconds, we're going to have him. Yang's Gamer. Honestly, you want to know what's funny, you guys? You know what Final Fantasy I remember playing more than any of them was Final Fantasy VIII. That's the one I remember playing the most, with Squall and the Gunblades. That's what I most remembered. If I were... Oh! Could I reverse this? Hold on. I think I can. I think it's under... No. Hold on, guys. That didn't work. Dang it. There we go. Howdy doody. How you like that? Okay, guys. This might work. Also, like I said, I believe CNN is much more protective of their live streamed things on their website than they are just their show. So I'll flash over to Yang when he comes on in just a minute, guys. May God have mercy. I just don't have the patience. I want to play RPGs. I've started so many. I don't have the patience for them. I just never finish them. I'm too much of a... And it's not even like I don't have time to play them. I don't have patience to play them. So that's the problem I run into. Okay, guys. He's coming up soon, though. I got the thing in the stream. I still think 7-9. I have it just reversed and flipped. That should do it. All right, I mean, I don't imagine it's going to be longer than a few minutes anyway. So. And if the YouTube police come to my house and black bag me, you guys will be here when I was gone. So you'll be there to help me. More commercials about emojis. So I'm going to see if this works. Tell me if you guys see ads. It says that I inserted an ad. I don't know if I'm inserting an ad into the restream or what. So tell me if you guys see them. That is one of my favorite things, yeah, is that the notion that, the older, I put a little bit of the Old Republic. I played a lot of Knights of the Old Republic 1. Not Knights of the Old Republic 2, but Knights of the Old Republic 1 I played a lot. Love that game. Probably beat it like 4 or 5 times. It's a really, really good game for anyone who has not played it. I guess they haven't done like the HD remastered Platinum Ultra Edition yet, but Yeah, KOTOR 2 is good. I just never finished it. It's good. So anyway, Andrew Yang should be coming up in about a minute here. I got the thing open on the other tab, so. Oh, it's really weird. Maybe I don't know, guys. I have no idea what's going on, so. I'm glad you guys haven't seen any ads, to be frank. I don't want you guys to see ads. I also would like to be able to run something while I take a break for a few minutes, so. So I'll figure that out another time. We're living and we're learning. Oh, yeah, dude, Donkey Kong, man. That's my favorite video game character of all time. Donkey Kong, dude. What a guy, man. What a donkey. Ooh, Magic. Definitely Magic over Yu-Gi-Oh! I haven't played Magic in a few years. I still have a lot of my cards, so definitely Magic over Yu-Gi-Oh! Though. I think some of the early Dragon Age games in general are actually really good. Later ones not so much, but some of the early ones are actually really good. Yeah, Magic. There's just more to do in Magic. You know, it's like it's the more reactive game. I don't know. To be frank, I haven't played a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh! In like recent year, like the last like 8 months, but yeah. Well, I don't want to leave you guys with nothing. You know? And ads, you know, are better than nothing, and we all win. So that's why I look at it. Oh, out of beer. Oh, cardinal sin. Just don't drink White Claws. Please don't. I have a feeling we're going to get you're going to be watching TV in like 10 years from now. And you'll be like, did you ever drink White Claw spiked cider? You might be eligible for it. I just feel like it's going to happen, man. Something about it. I don't trust it. I've never seen King of Kong, but I'm familiar with it. Never seen it, though. Okay, guys. I think it's coming up. What y'all been waiting for? Andrew Yang with Dr. Drew. That's what I want to see. I want to see Andrew Yang go on Adam Carolla's show and Dr. Drew's show. I think they have separate shows they do as well as shows together. I'd like to see them go on both separately. It'd be really cool. I can't game on this computer. Oh, and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen.
Capacity as president and as a candidate for re-election.
Sorry,
in
2020. It's more President Trump coverage. I thought it was Yang. It's supposed to be Yang, but it's just more President Trump coverage. I apologize, guys. Oh, please do, Justin. Please send me anything. You know what's funny? Actually, I am just a high energy person. Andrew Yang and Fast and the Furious. Oh God. White Claw is for locos for the affluent. That is hilarious, dude. I love that. Oh, hold up. Whoop.
Yang. So good to see you again.
It's great to see you as well,
Thank you so much. So let's talk about today. The president used an official speech to launch an attack on his opponents, to pat himself on a whole host of things, and to tell a bunch of lies. His former friend and comms director, Anthony Scaramucci, said today, the emperor has no clothes. So the emperor has no clothes, but what is it going to take to beat him?
Well, we have to start solving the problems of the American people that got Donald Trump elected.
Classic.
And right now, he's crowing about GDP. GDP's at record highs, while financial insecurity, stress, anxiety, even suicides and drug overdoses are all also at record highs. So we have to improve the reality on the ground for more Americans, and that's how we're going to beat him in 2020.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about your signature proposal?
Of course.
$1,000 a month in universal basic income for every American adult. You're calling it a freedom dividend. Why did you focus on that, and how is that the solution to what ails America?
Well, to me, the driving force behind Donald Trump's victory in 2016 was that we blasted away 4 million manufacturing jobs in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, all these swing states. Mm-hmm. And when I dug into the numbers, unfortunately, retraining programs didn't work, and many of these communities are struggling to find a path forward. Martin Luther King championed freedom dividend, in essence, in the 60s, and one state has had a dividend just like this for almost 40 years, Alaska, which is paid for by oil money.
More of the same.
And we can pay for a dividend for all Americans using technology money, because right now you have trillion-dollar tech companies like Amazon paying zero in taxes. If we get some of the gains from this economy into our hands, then we'll create a trickle-up economy, and that's what the freedom dividend is meant to kickstart.
How will they pay for universal basic income?
Ooh. You mean how will we, like as a society? Again, if you have a trillion-dollar tech company like Amazon that's closing 30% of our malls and stores, paying zero in taxes, then it is going to be hard to pay for a lot of things. But if you give the American people our fair share of every Amazon sale, every Google search, every Facebook ad, every robot truck mile eventually, then we can easily afford a freedom dividend of $1,000 per American.
But you know what they say? They said that Amazon creates jobs, gives people jobs, it improves neighborhoods, and on and on and on. Do you disagree with that?
Oh, Amazon's doing a lot of the job creating, but it's also doing a lot of job destroying on the other hand. They recently even just came clean and said that they're going to spend billions of dollars trying to retrain their own employees. But you know who they're not going to retrain? The 30% of retail workers who work in the malls and Main Street stores that are closing because Amazon's soaking up $20 billion in business every year. They're retraining their own people, but they're not going to retrain the mom and pop business owner in New Hampshire or Iowa.
I want to play this moment from the CNN debates last month. Watch this.
From our debates.
You know what the talking heads couldn't stop talking about after the last debate?
Closing statements.
It's not the fact that I'm somehow number 4 on this stage in national polling. It was a fact.
By the way, guys, this is not on CNN's YouTube channel. Maybe it will be now. This was pulled off their YouTube channel.
We automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs, hundreds of thousands right here in Michigan. We're up here with makeup on our faces and our rehearsed attack lines, playing roles in this reality TV show. It's one reason why we elected a reality TV star as our president.
I mean, that got thunderous applause there. I was on the stage that night. People loved that line. They also loved it at home and on social media. So the question is, how does a Democrat run against that reality show that's happening now?
You know, Don, it's been a joy running for president because people have been digging into the ideas behind this campaign, and a lot of these ideas take a little bit more time than a 60-second soundbite. No offense, because I'm thrilled to be here. But my popularity rose in large part because of long-form conversations on the internet. People have been reading my book and finding out about the fact that we're in the midst of the greatest economic transformation in the history of our country. What experts are calling the fourth industrial revolution. We need to have a real conversation about what that means for our society.
Race. Let's talk about that. It can be front and center in this campaign. You said the other day on CNN that you had no choice but to call President Trump a white supremacist. Why go that far?
Well, we have to judge people by their words and actions. And over the recent number of weeks, Donald Trump's been saying things that have no place in American politics, much less coming out of the White House. And so if you're asked, do you think that Donald Trump is a white supremacist, and you have this record of actions that have been incredibly destructive, I mean, there's no greater responsibility than being the President of the United States and sending a leadership message in terms of what the values of this country are. And so if he's denigrating people who are Americans and saying, go back to your country, if he's calling for pushing back an invasion and other things that end up inciting very, very negative, in some cases, tragic actions, then you have no choice but to call it out.
Yeah. Why do you think his use of race is not a deal breaker for some voters?
No, Americans have been looking around for quite some time, wondering what the heck is going on with their kids' future, with their path forward. And unfortunately, it's made Americans open to some terrible ideas and terrible leadership. And that's what we have to try and dig into. It's going to be a years-long challenge. But in my opinion, all of these things are tied together. That the fact that Americans have seen their income stagnate while their expenses go up, and that if you are a child born in this country in the 90s, there's only a 50-50 chance you're going to do better than your parents, whereas that used to be like a 90% plus chance. The American dream is dying, and people are looking for answers.
What do you think about reports speaking about race and being insensitive? Reports that the president mimicked the accent of some Asian leaders at a fundraiser.
You know, I did hear that, and that's not shocking to me.
Interesting.
I heard a story from some people where he had this giant banquet in Chinatown, and then he walked out without paying the bill, saying, you know, my being here was reward for your restaurant enough. So the fact that he insulted Asians by imitating our accent, I mean, that's not a surprise, unfortunately.
Yeah. You talked about being able to have longer conversations, which propelled you to the fore. You talked about people in your book and people wanting someone different. You and Marianne Williamson, you're not considered mainstream candidates. Why do you think that? Do you think that that helped propel you, that you have different ideas, that you're different than everybody else, that you make comments like we got the makeup on our face and we're trying to come up with a perfect soundbite so that we can somehow be like a reality TV show person?
The tough truth, Don, is Donald Trump became our president in large part because a lot of Americans are fed up with what they've seen coming out of Washington. They feel like their leaders aren't really serving to answer the challenges of this time. And so they're looking, unfortunately, in some cases, to really terrible leaders like Donald Trump, but they're looking for answers that might not be coming from traditional politicians. I've had many Americans say to me, "You don't sound like any other politician I've ever heard." And they don't see that as a bad thing. They're not like, "Get me a politician right now." They're like, "Oh, you don't sound like any politician I've ever heard. Tell me more." Yeah. So that to me is a very clear sign of the fact that Americans are looking for real solutions instead of sound bites.
As you know, as I was preparing for the debate, you have many fans out there who sent me.
Gang, thank you.
Hey, shouting us out, dude.
You tweeted
Elon Musk, thank you.
Elon Musk.
Yesterday you tweeted that most people still don't understand this campaign. What are people missing about you and your campaign?
Good question, man.
Well, I think most Americans are hard-pressed just to pay their bills. They're not digging into different candidates in 2020. And if they've heard anything about me, they've heard there's an Asian guy running for president who wants to give everyone $1,000 a month.
I thought you were going to do the line that says an Asian guy who likes math, but go on.
Yeah, the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math. And so what they don't understand about this campaign is that in many ways the freedom dividend is about everything but the money. Where I gave $1,000 a month to a family in Iowa, and I just saw him when I was there this past weekend. And he said to me, "You know what I did, Andrew? I bought a guitar. And now I've been playing shows, and then this band wants me to play on their show next week." And he was beaming. When I saw him a couple of months ago, he was frankly not beaming. He was taking care of his ailing mom who has cancer. He was quite depressed.
That's a good answer, though.
Seeming. Sorry, Kyle, but you seem depressed. And then 2 months later, he's like, seems like a new person. I mean, $1,000 a month means lower stress, better health, better mental health, better relationships, more optimism, more arts, creativity, generosity, a more open culture and society.
Yeah,
and so what people don't understand about my campaign is you think, "Oh, gimmick, $1,000 a month." This is about expanding the way we see ourselves and our role in society and our value. Because if we allow the market to determine our value, we are screwed over time because the market's going to turn on more and more Americans.
I just want to ask you one quick question.
Oh, please.
You know the whole thing about the Democratic Party is moving too far to the left, right? Socialism. What do you think of that whole argument?
Unfortunately, I think the socialism-capitalism dichotomy is really unproductive and out of date. And I'm going to quote a friend of mine, Eric Weinstein, who said, "We never knew that capitalism was going to get eaten by its son, technology." I mean, when you were coming up with these economic structures, you could never foresee things like artificial intelligence that could do near limitless work for next to no additional cost. So we have to start trying to solve the problems of the 21st century, and saying, "Are you a socialist? Are you a capitalist?" is just not helpful. We just need to take the best of both worlds, if you will. And the freedom dividend, what I'm describing, sometimes people say like, "Oh, that's socialism." It's capitalism where income doesn't start at zero. Markets function better, businesses function better, consumers do better when we have money to spend.
Andrew Yang, thank you.
Don, such a pleasure.
You as well. Good luck out there.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, guys, that was really interesting. Holy cow. Don Lemon, first of all, a lot of you guys pointed it out in the chat already, but that was so funny, man. Don Lemon just goes, "So, race." Just pauses like, "Oh, there we go. Thank you, Don. Here we go." Aside from the obvious race baiting questions he was given, I thought Yang actually handled himself pretty well on, all things considered. You know what I mean? I thought he did a pretty good job with that. And it's not like that big a deal. It just cracks me up. It's like Don Lemon, man, just comes right out with it. So, anyway, race. What do you think about X, Y, and Z? Okay, whatever. It's something he didn't talk about, but we'll talk about it. I thought he answered it pretty well. I mean, he did the thing he always does. Like, it's funny. I think I was talking about this earlier too, but because I watch all these Andrew Yang interviews, like I'm like, oh, here he is doing this one, then he says this, and then he says that, and then there we go, and this is another one of his interviews. So it was it's what he does. But I thought he got tough questions, but he handled them well. That was good. It's kind of weird what Donald. I agree, fashion, but it was just so funny that it's just like Don Lemon literally just says race and then just pauses. It's like, oh wow, really? Like it's not even like, okay, like X happened, and hey, because of this, we should talk about this, and maybe just race, just dropping it on the table, boom, like, come on, man. No, yeah, exactly. They do just keep pushing him on UBI. They're, well, it's great having you, Andrew. Anyway, check out his book. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, it's over. He has to defend himself, and then they just say, okay, and anyway, it's Andrew Yang, everybody. Like, you don't actually get that much time to breathe. It's really good. How come those were so short, AQI? Commercials and network television. That's why it was so short. Exactly. But at the same time, though, Carlos, I would say... Sorry, one goes... Sorry about that. One thing I would say, though, about... he can't say what he doesn't get asked. He finds a way to work UBI into a lot of answers. A lot of them. So maybe if he could just find a way to work a couple of other things into those answers, he could do a little bit better. Yeah, sorry about the banging, guys. That was an accident. But that's what I think. I think he does a little bit too good of a job of answering every question. Well, you see, with UBI, because he does it so often, it leaves people into thinking like, oh, this is the guy who just says UBI cures everything. I don't think it's a fair criticism, but I can see where it comes from. You know what I mean? I can see why people might think that. I can see where the impression is from, but I don't think it's as easy as it's actually what he thinks. But he leaves it. I mean, he leaves that door open for misinterpretation. He really does. And I'd like to see, even in that last interview, I'd like to see him do a little bit better of really hammering home. There's other stuff I want to talk about. What do you mean getting, Tim? Hey, but he didn't name drop. No, like he came. He very well. It was just he has a problem of always hammering UBI, and it leads to a position where people just think, oh, all he cares about, it's all he talks about, and it's big, but he will talk. Like he talked ranked choice voting on Anderson Cooper. I think he talked freedom dollars somewhere else. So not freedom dollars. What are they called? Democracy dollars. Excuse me. I think he talked that. Like he does talk about other stuff, but like you can ask him like at the debate. Here's a great example. They asked him about the debate. What do you think about the pay gap between men and women? Right. And he turned it into a UBI thing. It's a little bit similar, but like he's got a way of making everything UBI, and because of that, it leaves the door open for people to kind of unfairly label him as the UBI candidate, right? So let's see, guys. So sorry, guys, but coming up in the next 15 minutes here, about 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 somewhere, and 9:30 somewhere else, and HST, I believe it's actually 3:30 HST. Shout out Hawaii people. Gonna have to get going. A lot of fun hanging out. Shout outs to all the super chatters. So I just want to see any other stuff you guys want to ask at me in the next 15-20 minutes. I'll be hanging out with you guys. Freedom dollars work too. No, I get that UBI has to be big, right? But the thing is that like, if he overboard sells UBI, it leads to headlines like I showed the other day, where it's just people are saying, "Oh, he's the free money guy. He's supposed to give you money." It's like, well, it's not just. And yeah, democracy dollars, good point. But it's. I think he could do a better job saying, but it's not just UBI. It's also X. It's also Y. It's also Z. It's also this. It's also that. I think that would help him a lot. I really do. There's nothing wrong with being labeled as the UBI candidate, but he's not only the UBI candidate. So unfairly attack him on things that aren't exactly it, and hold up, guys. God dang it. Sorry. I forgot bringing up the funniest part of that sit down with CNN. They show on CNN, the closing statements that they pulled off their YouTube channel. It wasn't good enough to post on your YouTube channel, but the guy comes on, you got to show it. Oh my God, man, that was hilarious to me. It's like, oh yeah, it's not good enough for your channel, but we'll definitely put it here. Holy cow, man, that is hilarious. That is just CNN for you people. Race CNN for you. Maybe overboard's a little bit strong, but I think he could just also talk about other stuff as well, a little more. Yeah. Well, no, here's the thing, though, Anthony. There's some people that hear UBI and say, interesting, but what about more? And they want to hear more. So I think there's room for him to deliver more. I think that is true. It's tough, though. Like I said, he runs the risk of getting pigeonholed as the UBI candidate. He does. Fair or not, he runs that risk. So he needs to just talk a little bit more about other stuff. Andrew Yang is our only hope of Star Wars Rogue One parody. I have not seen that. That is funny, though. I think big organizations, if he's picking up steam and he's going to win, or if the democracy dollars things becomes a real thing, big organizations will pool their resources and how to game it. How do we benefit off this? That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. Like he could just say, hey, look, you could disagree with maybe seeing UBI as a handout, but I also have other things I want to talk about. It kind of lets you get to that point where some people say UBI, say no more, I'm all with you. And some people say UBI, say no more, never. So you have to remember both those voters are out there. Some of the videos coming out against the latest walk don't. I've heard. I have to watch that. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll have to watch that. The walk don't run. I'll have to see that. Hey, you know what, guys? Shout outs. Hillary Clinton in the chat. Round of applause. Woo! Welcome, Mrs. Clinton. Sign the petition for Joe Rogan to host a debate. That'd be hilarious, dude. Yang and SNL. Yang and SNL in general, dude. I'd like to see Yang and SNL just period. I don't watch the show, but it'll be good for him. Yeah, you think editing home. Exactly. But you still, like, some people, you know, they need Andrew season. All right, everyone, best behavior. Best behavior. Mrs. Clinton's here. Yeah, so I was just talking about how my friend was telling me that the Clintons are great, and we love them on this channel. Income tax. Yeah, no, there's other things. Be ready. Okay, like I said, I'm for the most part, I don't know. I'm pretty used to stuck under Cardin. You know, I grew up on the internet, so I'm used to people just having opinions that I very much don't agree with shoved in my face. It's just part of life, you know, part of the internet. I know, dude. If anyone knows John Delaney 2020, yeah, I wish he was here. I missed him tonight. Love to have Delaney and Mrs. Clinton on the. Last time I tried checking Google Trends, I did it wrong. So let me see if I can check it right this time. Google Trends, trending searches, I guess. Or is it real-time Google Trends? Steven Strasberg. I mean, Don Lemon CNN's trending. Not as much as Garrett Cole is for the Astros. That's funny, man. I don't know. Like I said, I always... Oh, Michael H. Here's some UBI. $2 donation. Thank you very much, Michael. Here's some also... Oh, we love the Clintons. I was actually just talking to my friend the other day, and he said that Jeffrey Epstein told him that he's going to take his own life because he's so unhappy. And I believe that story. So please don't hate me. Anyone check Twitter trends? I have not checked that either yet. Grow up... Oh, it's interesting. Tax lobbyists against him for making it too easy. Fascinating point. I haven't thought about that, but that's actually a pretty interesting point, man. Make sure to have it set for a search term to be fair for each person. Okay, let me look at this. Search term. So let's go Andrew Yang. Search term. Compare with, I think, Bernie Sanders, I guess. Bernie Sanders. Oh, United States Senator. I need search term Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders search term. Wow, Bernie, dude. February 17th. What happened February 17th, Bernie Sanders? Anyway, it looks like in the last few days, Andrew Yang has been searching. I gotta learn. Someone's gotta explain to me how you read this a little bit better. But, yikes. But, yeah. Yang needs a clip-on tie. Exactly. Yes, yeah, exactly. For the record, I love life, and I just had my car inspected, and I just had a physical, and everything's good. So, just for the record. John Lennon, the Secretary of Education. Oh my god, dude. Oh, sorry, folks. Hold on. Let me redo this. I got a habit of doing stuff like that. Sorry, folks. There we go. Boom. Weep. So, yeah. Oh, and hold on. Oh, yeah, wait. You can see right there. So, blue line's Yang, red line's Sanders. I guess you're more interested in the line graph than the map of the United States of America. So, even though, who is not interested in a map of our great United States? Anyway, there we go, folks. Apologize for that. There we go. And again, red is Yang, blue is Sanders. Or, red is Sanders, blue is Yang. Holy cow. Let me get this for you guys. There we go. There we go. Finally got it. Did it eventually. February 14th is Valentine's Day. Wow, that's me and stuff, dude. Beer on a call. Oh, you missed the appearance, noob. You missed him on CNN. Andrew Yang. It'll be up in a few minutes, so you can watch it in a few minutes when I wrap up. And I'm going to be wrapping up here in about 7 minutes. So speak now or forever hold you peace, people. Again, a lot of fun hanging out with everyone. Shout out to all the super chatters. Appreciate the support. Appreciate everyone for being here. I think I have been drinking pure water, and that is all. I swear it. Parrots of Tulsi. Let me see if I can do that really quickly before I head out. Tulsi. Yeah. That'd be weird to me that her search term's trending down because, according to this, Tulsi's doing pretty good against Andrew Yang. So, just the data. I'll change the time. Yeah, I guess you guys are right. What do you mean? You guys don't want to see the past 12 months? You think the past 4 hours would be better? No, and that's when Yang went on CNN. Woo! Let's switch it up to a more, I guess, 7 days. I don't know. Let me check, guys. Last 7 days. Andrew Yang. Wow. That is a straight up line, man. Tulsi is trending down, but it ebbs and flows. It ebbs and flows. How much you pure yourself in the likes of minute talk? It's a good question, my friend. Go get drunk. Oh, what do you mean go get, huh? Maybe, though. I might do that. Past 4 hours. I think I showed past 4 hours, right? I'll show it again. Past 4 hours. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but like obviously Yang's a little more popular, and then when he went on CNN, he became much more popular because he's on television. So, yeah. I don't know. It's hard to read into too much, you know. I don't think it's just, you know, you could really see it go up and down really fast, you know. Tulsi is on active duty for 2 weeks. Isn't that crazy, man? It's good. I'm glad to see her do it, but just crazy to think about. Just gone from an election for 2 weeks. It's a lot. That's forever in a campaign, man. Like it'll be hard to come back 2 weeks later and just, oh yeah, I'm back. Nothing happened this year. I was just gone for 2 weeks. Like her staff's under a lot of pressure right now. A lot of pressure to keep up. Yeah, no, it's good. Oh, thank you, Sean. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a lot of fun just having a place for everyone to. That's one of the things I like about live stream in general. It's just a place for you guys to all come and hang out together with us, which is a lot of fun. That's what I enjoy doing. That's why I'll hang out here 3 hours a day. 3 hours a day, a couple days a week with you guys. Tulsi flexing on Mayor Pete. Yeah, who wins in a fight? Pete Buttigieg or Tulsi Gabbard? It's a good question. I think Tulsi could beat him. Doesn't matter both going to. Oh, thank you very much, noob. Thank you very much, man. Do you think NJ would ever have an open forum on a big uni campus? Honestly, that's interesting. You're right. I don't think you've seen. Thank you very much, Justin. And yes, guys, we'll be streaming again on Thursday, same time. Tulsi probably will miss the debate while she's gone and have to try to get to October debate. I mean, where were you? I was literally, you know, serving in the National Guard. It's a pretty good excuse for where were you, right? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, oh, where were you last debate? Oh, well, you see, I was training in like Malaysia or something. I forgot where she's in. I believe she's somewhere, somewhere in Southeast Asia. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's where she is. But yeah, like that's where I was, right? So that's cool. She got denied the deed. Lovely. Oh no, yeah, hold up. That's something we'll have set up over the next few days too. Is a Discord chat for you guys, for everyone, so you guys can come in and we can pull you guys in on voice chat and Discord and pull you on the stream. I just really quickly got to figure out exactly how I set that up correctly, and that's it. So next day or so, we'll have that set up. Social engineering. Oh yeah, Victor. Yeah, sorry. When the VOD's up in a few minutes, so we're gonna end in a few minutes here. We actually watched the whole appearance of Andrew Yang on CNN. It was cool. Dawn gave him some interesting questions. I thought it was pretty good overall. I didn't love it, but I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad appearance, but it just wasn't the best I've ever seen from him either. It was okay. Don Lemon, I think, was the more interesting part. Just the questions Lemon gave him were pretty fascinating to me. I wasn't expecting him to go down those line of questions, but he did. So it was pretty cool. But then again, that's something I wanna just get a little more comfortable with the Discord, so I can bring you guys into voice chat and Discord with us. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I don't know. Yeah, no, I mean, dude, it's a straight up jump. He's done very well in recent time. Very, very, very well. And again, check us out next Thursday in 2 days on Thursday. Apologize. I believe we'll be starting at 5 p.m. again. It might be later. I'll let you guys know, but around the same time is what I am to be expecting. So that's really cool, guys. And this is it. Once again, shout out all the super chats. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to everyone in the chats. Thank you guys so much. If you could do me a favor and like the video, if you have not subscribed already, check it out. Maybe you'll like it. And that's really it for today, guys. It was a lot of fun hanging out. You guys think we'll get over 1 million Twitter followers for the debates? Not the next debate. Maybe the one after. Maybe October, but not the latest. Because the debates is where he gets a lot of his followers from, so I don't think he'll get that soon. Dude. Well, like I said, technically, Yang's been on the channel. We asked him a couple questions last time he had LA rallies. Technically, but yes, we would love to have him on for a more breathing discussion. You know what I'm talking about, friends. So, yes, of course, thank you, everyone. Have a great night, everyone. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. So, thanks. Shout out, guys.